Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second annual Hitting the Field NFL Draft Show. I'm Dimitri Zamaris. You might all know me as Meech at home. I'm joined today by John Shipley, Andre Rodriguez, Chris Davis, and Armand Sardui. We have a second set here tonight, which is a first in Hitting the Field history. That desk is being hosted by Jimmy Calhoun. We'll send it over to those guys in a minute. But first, I want to say, John, welcome on to Hitting the Field. First and last appearance.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, you can't beat it. That's efficiency. And we got Chris Davis making his final appearance on Hitting the Field as well. Chris, it's been a good run, buddy.
It really has.
I've had a good time.
Two most highest winners.
Two most wins in Hitting the Field history.
Exactly.
But, guys, the reason we're here tonight, obviously, is the NFL Draft. The first round tonight, we will be live here on YouTube on the Hitting the Field page from 8 p.m. until midnight, which hopefully will cover the entire first round. You never know with the NFL with all the trades. Guys, we're all fans of teams here. John, you're a Jags fan, much like myself and CD. Who do you want the Jags to pick tonight and why?
Dream scenario would be Will Hernandez, because I think just putting him at right guard with Brandon Leonard, Cam Robinson, Andrew Norwell, Jeremy Parnell, I think that would give them arguably the best offensive line in the AFC and would pave the way for really the style they want to play with.
Yeah, and it would really help Leonard Fournette, and you got to help your investment from last year with that fourth overall pick. Andre, what about you, man?
Dream scenario isn't going to happen, but it's a dream. Roquan Smith, I don't think he's going to fall to us. We're probably going to end up with Edmonds.
You are a Dolphins fan. I mean, if people can't tell by the shirt at home, I just want to make sure we get that out of the way.
Yeah, we're probably going to end up with Edmonds. We need help in a lot of places, so honestly,
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you really can't. You can't mess this one up.
Armand, San Francisco 49ers, you guys had a big offseason, brought in Richard Sherman. Jimmy Garoppolo locked in for, what, like $100 million? So
for 5 years. He's going to get for a while.
Hey, just like John, that's some efficiency, you know what I'm saying? So what do you expect to see from your 49ers in the draft tonight?
First round, we're definitely going with a cornerback. I like Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Corner or safety? What do you think he's going to play for you guys?
I'll take him in either position.
Yeah, he's kind of a Swiss Army knife. You can put him anywhere.
Yeah, with Richard Sherman leading our defense, I think we have an outstanding defensive year as well as offense, too. So I'm very excited for this upcoming season.
Division champs on the rise, or you think the Rams?
The Rams, you got to pick.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later on. CD, born in Detroit, raised in Jacksonville. What are you expecting, one, from your Lions, and then later on from your Jags in that first round?
Well, the Jags made the playoffs, so I'm proud of my young Jags.
Hey, future Super Bowl champion Jacksonville
Jaguars.
You are
correct, but I'm trying to get the Lions into the same, area. Look, we got a good secondary. You got Slay, you got Quinn. We have a very good offensive line, even though they were hurt, but they only played 95 days combined together, that O-line. We have Lang.
That's never a good thing.
Exactly. We're set a receiver. Stay away from tight end, please, because that means Hayden Hurst. Run away from him.
I don't think any of us want our teams to select Hayden Hurst, and I think that's for a good reason. What is he, like 48?
Yeah, he's definitely 48. Yeah, and he has a few more touchdowns than I do.
Yeah, only a little bit. Like, you can count them on your fingers how many he has. That's a little disappointing. I guess he's from Jacksonville, so we have to give him that. But he went to Bowls, so does that even really count?
No.
No, of course. Sorry if anyone at home went to Bowls. I don't know what to say. So before I send it over to Jimmy Calhoun, does anyone have any bold predictions for the draft before we go in?
I think the top 5 quarterbacks will all be gone by pick 15.
I agree with that 100%. I think maybe before pick 12.
Yeah, I think there's going to be at least 3 trades. Within those picks, yeah.
I really hope so. That would make this show way more exciting. Andre, what about you? Any bold predictions?
Wouldn't say it's that bold, but I know there's some non-believers out there. I think Lamar Jackson definitely gets picked first round.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think that's
First round for sure.
Do you guys think
I
that's
think he's the second quarterback off the board.
second quarter? That's a
I feel
bold
like
prediction.
Everything's
That's-
been
that's-
misdirection. It's
Wait
all
a-
been
One
misdirection.
up me right there. But that's where I was going.
Saquon and the quarterbacks.
You think that's the story?
Yeah.
All right, CD,
Sure.
any bold prediction?
Yeah, mine is Lamar's the second quarterback taken. I think it's all been misdirection. GM's playing.
That's interesting. Do you have any particular team that you think?
No, I really don't. I don't have a particular team.
All right, guys. Well, the NFL draft is officially underway. I think Roger Goodell is now walking to the podium to open up the ceremonies. But we're going to send it over to Jimmy Calhoun now, who's going to introduce everyone on his set. Jimmy, why don't you take it away for me?
Yeah, we got Roger Goodell on set now, so we got about 20 minutes until the draft starts. So we got Jeremy Brenner right here. We got Anthony Abruzzo. We got Jared Kappelman. I'm sitting next to two Eagles fans, so they don't pick until 32.
I wonder why we're picking 32nd, Jimmy. Tell me why.
I don't know. You might have traded for it. I don't know.
No, it's not trade about it. Yeah,
The Texans don't pick until, pick 65, something like that. So we're not going to hear much from you.
Not tonight.
But we'll go to you guys first. Anthony, we'll start with you. Who do you want the Eagles to get at 32?
See, here's the thing with the Eagles. I think there's multiple options what we could do. We could either trade the pick down to get multiple picks. Because like we only have 5 picks in total for the whole draft, so we need more picks. If we keep the pick, I can see a Mike Hughes if he's available, or an offensive tackle to replace Jason Peters when he needs to retire, like a Connor Williams if Colt Milton's on the board, somebody like that.
Yeah, I think you guys will be lucky if Mike Hughes is still on the board at 32. What about you?
Yeah, I'm like a Mike Hughes, Josh Jackson. If they can slip down that far, if they're not available, Geis is also another valuable option. But none of those 3 guys are there. I say we just trade it, either get more picks in the second or third round, or just trade it away and get a first-round pick down the road.
Yeah, because you guys are in the unique scenario where you guys don't really need anyone. You guys don't need a first-round pick on your team.
No, we do not.
So our resident Texans fan over here, like I said, you guys don't pick till the 3rd round.
No,
so
we don't.
We'll just ask you a general question. What are you looking for? What are you most looking forward to in the first round?
The drama, baby. I'm here for the reality television, the drama, people getting exposed. Let's see what happens, man. I'm ready. Just get some popcorn here. He has some popcorn
Thank
here.
you.
Jimmy, you want some
Thank you.
popcorn? Jared, y'all. There. Throwing some over there.
Caught it.
Just give me the drama, baby.
So you're
Trades
waiting for
come
teams
my
to get
way.
exposed. You just want a bust to happen. You just want something to.
I just want drama.
What if your Texans trade into the first round?
That can't happen. It's
That will not happen.
No,
It's
that's
impossible.
nothing close to get that
After last year's drama,
Yeah,
we can't do that.
Okay,
anymore.
well,
We
as a
can't do it.
Steeler fan, I'm just hoping we just go defense. I mean, we had Blake Bortles beat us in the playoffs last year. That can't happen. So I'm hoping we get either an inside linebacker to replace Ryan Shazier or one of those defensive backs.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, Jimmy. Sorry.
Oh, it was really embarrassing. You guys mentioned Mike Hughes. I'm hoping he's there. Josh Jackson would be great. I'm not sure if he'll make it to 28, but who knows?
I think there's a good amount of depth at the end of the first round that you could get a corner, you can
Especially
get a
for those
linebacker,
corners, yeah.
especially for the
We'll
Steelers.
see how the
I think they're in a
linebackers
good
slip. I mean,
spot
there's
right
good
there.
inside linebacker talent and outside linebacker talent. We need an inside linebacker to replace Ryan Shazier, like I said, but we haven't had a good corner since
ages, right?
10 years.
10
Who was
years
the
at
last
least.
good corner? I mean,
That is a good
even-
question.
That's a good question, yeah.
I think it's a good
Well,
question.
William Gay in his prime.
Joe Hayden for about 2 games this year.
If that,
About that?
I mean,
even.
All right,
Looking
so
for consistency.
we'll take something
Yeah.
over from that side. They did a little bit of bold predictions, so why don't we go there? I love my bold predictions. But Jeremy, we'll start with you.
So
Yeah, we know you
Cortland
do.
Sutton is a wide receiver. We know him well for playing in the American. He will be a Dallas Cowboy by the end of the night. I think that he could even be the first wide receiver off the board. I think a lot of people are saying that it could be Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver from Alabama. But I actually think that Cortland Sutton is someone that Dallas really likes. They know him very well. He's gone to a lot of the local workouts
In-state
there.
connection,
And I think we could even see them trade up to get him.
All right, Anthony, real quick.
First, I like Cortland Sutton, but I think we're going to see a lot of chaos in this draft tonight. I want to see 7 or 8 trades tonight. That's what I'm predicting.
Okay, real quick.
I'm gonna be a homer. Shaquem Griffin goes in the first 2 rounds.
Ooh, that's nice. All right, we're going to send it over to Meech now, though. Those are some pretty good bold predictions, guys. Let's see if those come true.
All right, guys, I really like those all very much. So the Cleveland Browns officially on the clock here. They got about 8 minutes and 19 seconds left before they make their pick. Guys, where do you think Cleveland should go and why? Why don't we start Armand this time?
They're definitely going quarterback. The past couple of drafts.
I like the confidence you speak with, Armand. A lot of definitelys.
They're definitely going with a quarterback. The thing is that Cleveland has never had a franchise quarterback. That's the thing. Like, who will lead that team? Because he just signed, Jarvis Landry to a contract. They already have weapons. And they have Tyrod Taylor, but, who knows they're battling with Tyrod Taylor for the starting spot. But they're definitely going quarterback.
Okay.
Definitely.
CD, any predictions?
I feel like the Browns should be getting like taking like a Chubb or go with somebody that's more dynamic. I don't like any of these quarterbacks, honestly. Like I don't like love them.
That's a fair take. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna shoot you over
And
that.
you also have the 4th pick. So if you're going quarterback, you're gonna end up with one of them. So for me, I think honestly they're gonna take a quarterback anywhere because they're the Browns. So, but I think it's gonna be the wrong one. But
I mean,
so look for
only a
Baker.
matter of time. You have to assume it's only a matter of time until the Browns finally pick the right quarterback. But then again, it is the Browns, so who knows? Just before we move on to John and Andre's opinions on the first pick, I want to say just now on Facebook we posted, if you guys watching at home have any questions during the first round, make sure to post them under that post and we will try and answer them. We have the beautiful Jessica Herman who's going to pose questions and also try and answer some her way. Also on Twitter or the YouTube comment section, if you have any questions, we're trying to make this as interactive with the audience as possible. John, do you have any opinions on who the Browns are going to take in the first?
They have to go quarterback first overall. I don't think you can risk, somebody trading up and taking your guy when you pick 4th. But I also think the 2 quarterbacks they're most likely to take, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, those wouldn't be the ones I would take personally. I think Rosen and Lamar Jackson are the 2 best quarterbacks in this class, and that's who I would consider with, the number 1 overall pick. But if I had to guess what will happen, I'd say Darnold.
You thinking Darnold? What about you, Andre?
I think kind of the same thing as John here. Just a situation, they're not going to trade their first pick. I think Rosen is better than Darnold too. But just given the situation, they have the first pick. They're not going to trade down, so you got to go with Darnold. You're not going to take Rosen with the first pick. And they could still get Chubb at their 4th. I don't think they should go running back. Barkley's out of the question. I mean,
yeah, I don't think you can pick a running back first overall. No. It just doesn't feel like the correct kind of.
They also have Hyde. So.
I don't even think you can. Yeah, and Hyde was a good pickup and they still have Duke Johnson,
and he's productive when given opportunities, and he's kind of used in the same way that you would use Shaquan Barkley.
It's really on Hugh Jackson to figure out what to do with all these pieces, because it's not like the offense isn't talented anymore. Like that can't be an excuse next year. Because even if the rookie is bad, you have Tyrod Taylor. So I don't know if assuming they do go 1 and they do take a quarterback, what do you guys assume they're going to do with 4? Is that where we see a Chubb come off the board, or
it has to?
Yeah, no doubt.
You can't miss.
What do you think of a Chubb Myles Garrett combination up front?
Because their defense was slick, like really good last year. Like
other than the fact that they had Jabril Peppers playing 35 yards off the ball.
He was returning punts on 3rd down, bro.
He's not that good. But you look at the Browns as
an understatement.
As an entity, and they have a lot of pieces. Like in the past, they haven't had pieces where you can say, you know what, that guy, he's a sure thing. He's going to do this, and you go and get the vets. Now you got to go in the draft, and you got to hit on 1 and 4.
Well, and the thing is, the Browns. It's always funny to me when the first pick, you get 15 or 12 or 15 minutes on the clock in the first round, and it's funny to me that they always use the full time. It's like you had 6 months to decide. I mean, I guess maybe they're doing their due diligence. I can't speak tonight, but that's not gonna be good for a 4-hour show. But it's make the pick.
Yeah.
Like they're probably shopping it around, seeing if anyone's gonna bite last minute. Maybe that's what the Baker Mayfield stuff was this morning. But I mean, come on, you're busting our chops here a little bit.
I'm with you, and I feel like we say that every year. But in fairness, the Browns' own head coach only found out who they were taking like 2 days ago.
That's fair too. But remember back in the day when they used to announce the first overall pick like 3 weeks in
Sam Bradford
advance?
signed his contract like 3 weeks before he even got drafted.
It's insane. Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford, yes.
So we all agree it's probably going to be a quarterback. I just want to get a quick consensus poll who everyone thinks that quarterback is going to be. Armand, we'll start with you and we'll come this way. And then who do you think it should be if they are picking a quarterback?
I won't be shocked if they pick Baker Mayfield first overall.
So you don't think that was a smokescreen?
No, because they were talking about it they were talking about since what, 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
It was earlier than that. It was like right when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, so either way it's going to be a quarterback, but I won't be surprised if it be Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Because I think he's
But is that who you would pick if you were taking a quarterback in this draft?
I think it would, because I think he's NFL ready compared to the other quarterbacks, Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything particularly about him that you like more than the others?
I like his confidence. Like you seen that with when they were playing Georgia.
Yeah, no,
in
for
that
sure.
bowl game. I don't think he's not a quitter.
He's a gamer for sure.
For sure. So I like his confidence. That's the only thing I set aside for Baker Mayfield.
CD?
I think that when you look at Baker, he's got a lot of Manziel in him. Like as far as like
You don't want to tell that to Cleveland.
you know how like when something goes bad in your life one time that you thought was going to be great, and then you see something that's similar to it, you're like, maybe just one more time.
Wow, that's really me.
And I feel like this is the Browns, like, one more time. Like, let's just try this one more time. I think they will pull a trigger on Baker.
Who would you pick, though?
I'd take Darnold if I'm taking, just from, like, what their interest is. I would take Rosen.
Yeah, I think I would take Rosen as well.
I'd take Rosen. But I think them personally, I think they're going to go ahead and take Darnold.
All right, well, so the pick is in, but until it takes the commissioner 30 minutes to walk out. Armand, what do you? I'm sorry, Andre. What do you? What quarterback do you think it's going to be, and who do you think, and who do you think it should be?
One, I just like to say Armand. It's not going to be Baker Mayfield. That's just bait.
We're about to find out. We're about to find out here in a minute.
That was just bait. Two, I think it's going to be Darnold, but it shouldn't be. It should be Rosen. I'm sure 3 of us agree here on that. Yeah, I mean, Rosen's, I think he has they're saying Allen has the most potential. I think looking forward.
I don't know how you could say that.
I think Rosen has the most
And I know it's
potential.
not you saying that, and we're not laughing at you.
Andre got the takes, boy.
I keep seeing that, and like not just like mock drafts, analysts, and it's like I don't see where you get that.
I think that's because analysts have dug themselves so deep into the Josh Allen hole that they don't want to be incorrect. John, what is your thoughts on this quarterback situation?
I'm kind of more or less in agreement with everybody else. I think it's ultimately going to be Darnold. You know, they were kind of floating out the Darnold to one talk all draft, and you just started hearing about Baker Mayfield. It wouldn't shock me if it ended up being Baker. I think it's going to be Darnold, but like I said earlier, personally, I think Rosen is the best quarterback in the draft, followed shortly by Lamar, and I think Darnold's ultimately going to go before either one of them.
Yeah, what you call it? I was going to add on, like, just don't fall in love too quick with your pick.
No, I agree.
Sometimes when you're a great college player.
And Armand, I hate to cut you off, but the commissioner has walked up to the podium. He's about to announce the first overall pick of the 2018 NFL Draft. And with that pick, the Cleveland Browns have selected Baker Mayfield, the quarterback out of Oklahoma. I believe we have a video package to run for that. And after the video package, we'll send it to Jimmy Calhoun and company for their reaction to that pick.
Why are you so confident about that?
What a Browns move.
That was way too confident.
That is such a
Baker Mayfield, quarterback, Oklahoma. Everyone knows the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. His height and immaturity show at the times, on and off the field, are his biggest question marks. His accuracy as a passer is almost unbelievable. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in recent memory. Blend that with his performance under pressure, it's no wonder why some see him as a franchise-altering quarterback at an NFL level.
All right, we go from Baker Mayfield ending his season in the national championship semifinal, where he might not even have been a first-round pick, to the #1 overall pick. Wow. Jeremy, reaction?
Very interesting.
I think Baker was my top quarterback coming into the night.
Okay.
And but it wasn't very close. It wasn't very much. It wasn't a very wide margin. It was very tight between all 5 of them. In fact, I had all 5 of those quarterbacks at one point the top quarterback during my study of the draft.
Yep.
But I think that this is the deal with these guys. Baker has the best chance to be a superstar in this league amongst the quarterbacks in this draft. However, what's important about where these quarterbacks go tonight is where do they fit? Do they fit in the system? All 5 of these quarterbacks are system quarterbacks. They will flourish in any system. They won't flourish in just any system. They have to be in the right place at the right time, kind of like Carson Wentz. But I fear for Baker Mayfield because he's going to Cleveland.
Yeah,
You're the 20 millionth quarterback they've had since '99. So congratulations.
I just saw Cleveland taking a bigger, stronger quarterback just to deal with those Cleveland conditions. I think Baker Mayfield would have been better in the South. I thought they were going to go Sam Darnold here personally. Anthony, what do you think?
I mean, first of all, he's like almost under 6 foot tall, just about 6 foot tall. When you're 6 foot tall and you're a quarterback, that's not really good enough to be the #1 overall pick, in my opinion. He's like Jared mentioned the other day, he was a poor man's Drew Brees, I think you said, right, on the pre-show. So yeah, I don't think it was a really good pick at all. I think Cleveland made a big mistake this time. Again, like usual. And he can't stay in the pocket. For some reason he's in the pocket and there's a receiver wide open. He can't make that throw for whatever reason. I'm not a big fan of this pick at all. I think Cleveland made a huge mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield walked on to Texas Tech, then he walked on to Oklahoma, and he went from that to the #1 pick in the draft.
I'm upset for Baker Mayfield because I'm a Baker fan. I love the way he plays, his confidence, everything about him just screams, I'm the best player on the field and I'm going to let everyone know it. But he's with the Browns. They don't treat anyone well, and I'm just worried for him. I said he would fit best in the Saints scheme or the Vikings scheme, just a well-balanced offense. The Browns are not going to help him. There's nothing the Browns are going to do that are going to – there's no coaching there. He doesn't have the right coaching.
Yeah,
and
player
Baker
development
needs coaching right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't think Baker is the type of quarterback whose body will hold up in Cleveland. Like I said, if there was 2 teams that I didn't think were going to take Baker, was Cleveland and Buffalo. Yeah, I just don't. He comes from Oklahoma. He comes from Texas. He's a Texas kid.
He's a Texas kid. He should have been taken more in the South. And plus, you AFC North. I mean, the pass rush is there. I mean, not good.
Yeah.
He does have a supporting cast, though. You know, they did go out there. They did go out get Landry. They have Josh Gordon. They have Carlos Hyde.
They also have a decent offensive line.
They have the weapons, but it's just going to be the coaching staff. And they're going to put it together.
I agree. And he won't have to be a day one starter either, probably. So we'll see how it plays out. We're going to send it over to Meech.
All right, guys, so we'll get everyone's reactions here on Baker Mayfield here in a second. But first, the Giants, their pick is in. It'll probably, like I said, take about another 15 minutes until they get that pick announced. Are you surprised by the Baker Mayfield stuff? We're just going to hear from 2 of you on this, and then we'll transition to the Giants. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I am surprised. I thought the entire time that it was just some late smoke. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you've heard that John Dorsey is a Baker fan. You've heard that Scott McLaughlin is a Baker fan. So it can't be that huge of a surprise.
Yeah, okay. And what about you, Armand? How surprised were you from a scale from 1 to 10?
Well, Andre owes me an apology.
That's true. Andre apologized. Let's hear it.
I'm sorry for the Browns being the Browns. I didn't expect that.
Well, the thing about Baker,
that's where you went wrong.
The thing about Baker, you know, I really like his confidence, and also, like I said before, I really like his confidence, and also, you know, when the play breaks down, he makes it happen. So, and plus, you know, you have that, you know, all those arrests back when, but you know, I don't think he's that problematic anymore.
All right, Armand, and I hate to cut you off again, man, but the commissioner has approached the podium for the second overall pick, and with that second overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New York Giants have selected Saquon Barkley, the running back out of Penn State. So
that's the right one right there, man.
We're gonna run the package, so let's run that first.
Saquon Barkley, running back, Penn State. Barkley is a physical freak with out-of-this-world strength and a home run hitting speed. While there are some questions about his vision and his reliance on his elusiveness over his overwhelming power, he should be a stud for years to come.
All right, Saquon Barkley with the number 2 pick. This isn't a surprise. I think more surprising is the Giants to move out of the pick. So, Jarrett, we'll start with you.
Thank God the Giants actually made a good pick. The past 2 seasons, they were 22nd and 26th in rushing, averaging 3.8 yards a carry. They've always been just a good running back away, I think, from having a complete offense. Yes, that question's come around, like, is Eli the guy for the future? But I definitely think that Barkley is a start. He's, in my opinion, he's better than Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
And the Giants have the money to go out there and put a good line out there. And I know they just cut Bobby Hart in that whole situation, but I think the Giants now are going to be back to contending in the NFC East.
Okay, yeah, I think Saquon Barkley is definitely a day one starter, day one impactful player. So, Anthony, 2 questions. React to him on the Giants, then compare him to the other top running backs that have been drafted in years previous, Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I think it was a great pick by the Giants. I mean, you know, with the Giants, I mean, they've been struggling for years to get a running back, so now they finally get their running back in Saquon Barkley. As an Eagle fan, personally, I'm a little afraid about that, to see him twice a year, but, you know, the Giants made a great pick. In terms of running backs in years past, I mean, I could see him kind of looking like Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
I could see, you know, I think he's going to be better than Leonard Fournette. I think he's going to be better than Ezekiel Elliott, so... That's what I feel about
some Jags fans on the other set that'll comment on that, but Jeremy, you go.
Barkley opens up the offense. When you have a run game, that's going to open up Odell. That's going to open up, you know, all the other Giants receivers. Maybe Des Bryant. We'll see. It's going to open up the whole offense. Evan Ingram's going to get a lot of more open looks next year. That's what when you have a good run game, it helps your pass game as well. It's almost like a good offense is a great defense. It's kind of like that in a way. It can open up that whole offense. I think this is a excellent pick. I give this pick an A+.
Yeah, and he's dual threat. He's like that Le'Veon Bell. He's a dual threat, and he's a return guy. Yeah, now, are they going to use him there? I don't know, but I know he took back one in the Rose Bowl a few years ago.
And he took a kickback against Ohio State.
You know, another part of his game that's like you gotta highlight. It's like he could pick up the blitz, so that's huge for a guy like Eli Manning where he needs to block. So
yeah, the Giants haven't had a good run game since their Super Bowl run 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I think you can make the argument right now. 2 picks into this draft, the Giants have possibly won this whole draft already.
They've already won the draft
already. 2 picks in, and the Giants have won the draft.
Okay. I really love this pick. I think it's a great pick.
I'm not going to go that far.
We'll send it over to Meech. Can we get the Jags fans to comment on that Leonard Fournette take?
I personally, I mean, John, why don't you start off?
I mean, I'm not going to choose to comment on the running back who scored more touchdowns than Le'Veon Bell at Heinz Field last season. That's not what we're here to talk about.
It's only facts over here, Jimmy. I'm sorry. I will say this: it's curious to me to select a running back second overall when you have arguably the worst offensive line in the NFL, and Eli Manning is your quarterback. Yeah. I've made it known very often here on Hitting the Field how I feel about Eli Manning and where he's at in his career. Even if necessarily you didn't think one of those quarterbacks is the way to go for your future, picking a running back with, second overall pick just feels, I can't talk because the Jags picked Leonard Fournette 4th overall last year, but it just feels a little rich for my tastes, and I don't know how much I like the pick, especially like I said, that offensive line is awful, and there's only so much you can do as a young running back behind such a terrible offensive line. But that's my opinions on it. The Jets are on the clock now. Chris, what were your opinions on Saquon Barkley, and where do you think the Jets are going to go?
Well, one, I think the Jets, because you said they get their pick. So what's that, Darnold? Or is that
they can pick between. That's what I meant. They can pick between.
Yeah, I think they should take Rosen personally.
Some argue those are the 2 best quarterbacks in the draft, and they have their choice of the 2 now. Right. And there's no way they would have thought that was going to happen.
They can't mess this up.
It makes that trade with the Colts look much better.
I was going to say, when everybody gave them, a ton of flack when they traded up because, they were trading for the 3rd pick. You don't know what's going to happen in the first 2.
Yeah, you don't know.
It's kind of looked like it's worked out perfectly for them.
Right. Andre, what do you think?
For the Giants, Saquon Barkley, I totally disagree. I think that was a great pick. He's a generational running back. They haven't
we hear that so often now.
But let me
we have a once in a generation running back every year now. It feels
like
it was Leonard Fournette.
It's different with him though. It's different with him. And it's different with the Giants. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher in God knows how long. And getting Barkley, it kind of extends.
I think former Jacksonville Jaguar. God, what was the dude's name?
Rashad Jennings.
Rashad Jennings was their last 1,000-yard rusher. Shout out to Tom Coughlin.
Getting Barkley. Always. Kind of extends Eli's career, not in a good way, but I'm saying like he
yeah. Do we want to? That's a major thing.
The ship. Look at it as a ship.
That's a major point.
The ship isn't sinking now that they got Barkley. Like Eli's, it's able to float a little bit. Hang on for another year.
Pouring the water out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just buckets of water.
Yeah. I mean, that's bad too, but it's. I think you can't miss out on. You can't skip out on this guy.
In a certain point.
I'd go through that
when you say it extends Eli's career for me, I'm like, I'm good off that.
No matter who they got, they would still not be making the playoffs for the next 2 years.
That's fair.
I think
that's
like this, you can't pass on this.
I think that ship's picking top 5 again next season.
Yeah, no, that's
they're going to get a quarterback again. They're going to get a quarterback next year.
The Jets pick is in, so Armand, I'm not going to cut you off this time, hopefully. But what do you think about this?
All I gotta say, if you're a Giants fan, you got to be excited because
Saquon
could create.
Yeah.
He could create.
Eli Manning's still your quarterback.
Like Chris said, during her pick, right? Eli has no excuse.
He has none.
Real quick, Jets predictions. Who you got?
I got Darnold.
Darnold, CD.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Rosen.
Rosen, why? Any particular?
Because they see the forest past the trees, and they're not seeing Darnold's big head anymore, and they're like, oh,
yeah, you can't have your franchise quarterback look like the villain from the first Incredibles movie. I don't think that's
like something off of Megamind.
Right. No. So the New York Giants pick is in. Commissioner Goodell is walking to the stage. So with the 3rd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New York Jets, have selected. Hold on, this might take a second. Are they booing it? Sam Darnold, the quarterback out of USC. So let's see those highlights.
Sam Darnold, quarterback, USC. Darnold is one of the better quarterback prospects to come out recent years. with unique athletic ability to keep plays alive and to go along with the football instincts that allow him to find windows and make plays downfield. His creative style can lead to turnovers like we saw his last season at USC, but his upside as a franchise centerpiece is obvious.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and with that pick, we are going to head to a quick commercial break. Stay with us, because after the break, we will be talking, Jimmy's group will be talking about the selection of Sam Darnold, and we will see you here in a bit.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Do you like sports? Do you like reading about sports? Then we got a sports blog just for you. Stay on my peripherals. That's not far. Hitting the field.
The first student-run sports blog.
For sports fans.
By sports fans.
See, it's all about the product shot.
Where do you want me to stand?
Don't talk though. I want them to see the whole.
Hitting the field. We cover football. We cover basketball. And so much more. He's out.
By sports reporters. And Meech.
What up? Watch the show and read the sports blog. Hitting the field.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
All right, Sam Darnold with the third pick to the New York Jets. My opinion was the top quarterback. I thought he should have won one to Cleveland. How do you feel, Jeremy?
I like the pick. I think it's hard to go wrong with the pick. They have Darnold, though, he has some developing to do. I think we can say that about any quarterback in this class. But the Jets traded up from 6 to 3. They gave up a ton of draft picks, and they got possibly a guy that they thought could have gone number 1. So I think good pick for the Jets. I give it an A.
It'll be interesting to see if Sam Darnold was the number 1 QB on their board, because all the hype before was on Baker Mayfield to the Jets. So I want to see who was number 1 on their board. That'd be interesting to find out. I
think it was Baker. In my opinion, it was Baker, because they thought that 3 would be enough to trade up and get a guy like Baker. Maybe they didn't think they could get him at 6 because you have Denver in there. Cleveland has 2 picks, but they thought 3 would be enough. It wasn't, but they still get Darnold, which is a nice consolation.
Yeah, you also got to remember how much they gave up to go to number 3.
Yeah, they gave up 3 second-round picks. It's very interesting to me that the last time the Jets picked a first-round quarterback, it was Mark Sanchez out of USC. Who did they pick this time? It's Sam Darnold out of USC.
Yep.
I'm very concerned about Sam Darnold's turnover issues, because I was very high on him before the beginning of this college football season, and then the turnovers really turned me off. And then I started watching his tape a little bit more and more, and then I was like, all right, now I'm a little more comfortable with him. He can make all the throws out of the pocket. He's got a very good, strong arm. And I think the Jets needed a quarterback like Sam Darnold. I think he could be a success. I think they're going to need to give him some time. And I think when you have Teddy Bridgewater and Josh McCown, that he can sit behind and learn. I think
Sam Darnold will be a great fit in New York, especially with Josh McCown.
As a veteran.
Teaching him,
it's a good pick overall, all around. I think Darnold actually was their 1, and I think they only were looking to get Baker because they didn't expect Darnold to be there.
Exactly.
Darnold's pro day was really impressive in the pouring rain, and it was a nearly flawless pro day. The one thing with Darnold, the past 2 seasons in college, he's entered as the Heisman favorite and didn't even come close to finishing anywhere in the top 10.
USC kind of underperformed this year.
His potential's there. It's the matter of if he's going to grow into this role as the franchise quarterback that they're drafting him to be, because that's what he's being drafted for. They're not drafting him, just to fill a spot 3-4 years. This is their guy for the next 10, 15 years is what they're planning.
Fingers
for.
crossed. That's the whole point.
That's what they're planning for, and I really think the Jets, if they can start adding weapons around him, they can. I mean, they're never going to win the division as long as Brady's playing, but maybe get a wild card and go back to that days like when Mark Sanchez was there. Because you think about it, Mark Sanchez's first 4 years, we're saying this guy's going to win a Super Bowl, and he just fell off. So I think it's going to come down to coaching and.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. In my opinion, Sam Darnold was the quarterback in this class who wasn't prototypical system quarterback. I think he can go anywhere, and he has a chance of succeeding.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, we're going to send it over back to Meech.
All right, hey, thanks, Jimmy, and guys over there. I really appreciate that. I am now joined by Troy Alford and Eddie Messel. Welcome on, fellas. Before we get into the pick, the Browns pick is in already. We got a couple of YouTube comments. Casey Dillon says Cleveland should just take another QB at 4 because they are the Browns. Which, Casey, that might not be a bad decision, to be honest. And Giovanna Lasenswisky, I'm sorry, I just butchered your name, but she says Jeremy Brenner, she is your biggest fan. So shout out to Giovanna for watching. We really appreciate that. Guys, the Browns pick is in. Where do you think we're going to see here? Eddie?
They got to go Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb, you think so?
That's the easy pick. I mean, there's no way you're picking anyone else at this 4 spot.
Okay. What about you, Troy?
I agree with Eddie. They're going with Chubb. I mean, you got your quarterback. You got some new pieces coming in. Go for defense.
Go for defense?
Yeah. I got you.
And what do you think, Eddie, about the combination of Myles Garrett and Bradley Chubb together?
Oh, it's gonna be scary.
That just wouldn't be.
You got to think Cleveland's gonna play well this year. It's for the first. I mean, they got so many weapons coming in now. I mean, you would got to think they're definitely.
And they still have all those second-round picks.
Listen, I'm excited. As much as I'm not a Cleveland guy, I'm excited to see if Cleveland can come out and do some good things this year.
I don't think any of us would qualify as a Cleveland guy. We're all much too handsome for that. I'm sorry, that was hilarious. So the commissioner is currently walking up for the 4th pick. John, real quick, give me a prediction.
I think it's Chubb.
All right, and with the 4th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns, who selected Baker Mayfield first overall, have selected Denzel Ward, the cornerback out of Ohio State. That's kind of shocking.
Just like I said would happen.
Yeah, I just said it. So we're going to run the package, and we'll be right back.
What?
Denzel Ward, cornerback, Ohio State. Ward isn't physically going to be the type of corner who can come up to the line and disrupt timing with a solid jam. What he does offer, though, is unbelievable athleticism and patience cover skills, which makes him project as a serious ball hawk that can generate takeaways at the next level.
Man, we thought the Browns shocked us with their #1 overall pick, and then they come out with the 4th pick in Denzel Ward corner.
Again, typical Cleveland.
Jarrett, we're going to start with you.
I'm actually okay with this pick. I like this more than the Baker pick.
Okay.
Because look at their secondary. Who was there? E.J. Gaines and Jabril Peppers. And what'd they do last year? Let everyone. Well, E.J. Gaines just got on the team.
I think the 0-16 Browns need help at pretty much every position.
That's why I'm not upset about the pick. And I think a shutdown corner can impact you just as much as a shutdown defensive end. It depends on who they're playing. In the league we play in now today, it's more pass heavy, so I think it might be better that they went after a cover guy. And if they can get him to shadow receivers and not just play one side.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on how you like Denzel Ward. Me personally, I like the bigger, stronger corners. I know Denzel Ward was the consensus #1 corner in this draft, but the 4th overall just seems like a stretch to me. What about you, Anthony?
I mean, Cleveland does need corners. I mean, they do need help. He's a Ohio State native, so I mean that could have factored into it, the pick on why he got picked there. Look, I think Denzel Ward, I think he could be a really good corner in this league. Ran a 4.32, so that means he's able to keep up with receivers. He's a ball hawk, able to get the ball, interceptions. I think Cleveland needs people like that who could get the ball, player ball skills. I think Denzel Ward was a good pick. I think I'm just more shocked that they went that way. I thought Bradley Chubb would have been the pick, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's Cleveland. You know, you got to be shocked. Here's the drama you talked about, Jeremy.
I think that the Browns were looking to trade for, and they simply didn't get an offer that they wanted. Denzel Ward would have been available at 6, 7, 8. So maybe those teams that are about to pick right now, they weren't willing to trade up. So and go after Chubb. You thought maybe Tampa might go in there. Even Denver. I think Denver right now is in a prime spot to take Bradley Chubb. But considering about Ward, it's not a bad pick. But considering that they could have gotten him at 7 or 8 is not a good pick.
I think they were expecting the Bills to trade up.
Yeah.
But I think what the Bills saw after Baker going first, I think the Bills might be content just staying.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. While we're still waiting for Denver's pick, real quick, does Bradley Chubb go to Denver?
I would say so. Yes.
I think so.
If he's
best player available right now.
Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. All right,
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
that would be nasty.
That'll be fun to see.
Really nasty.
All right, we're gonna send it back over to Meech.
All right, guys. Thanks for that kind of breakdown. I really appreciated that. We all kind of reacted at first when we saw the pick. I think it was just because it was a surprise. I don't think any of us agree here that it was a bad pick at all. I think you can't go wrong picking a corner out of Ohio State really these days, it feels like. Real quick, we have a question from Briley85, which I assume is Kyle Briley's older brother, Eric. I'm not sure. I don't know how the ages stack up again. But he has one question. Chances that Buffalo trades up after Mayfield went 1 and Darnold eventually went 3. What do you guys think? Do you think they might sit tight now at 12, or does it depend on what happens with this Broncos pick?
No, somebody's got to take Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it. Do you think maybe it's the Broncos, CD?
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a very John Elway pick. John Elway is a terrible GM.
Yeah.
I see him in me, so I'm gonna draft him.
So, Eddie, what do you think the Broncos should do with this pick?
I mean, now that Chubb's on the board, you got to think they go Chubb, but I could easily see him going quarterback. Maybe, like you said, Rosen or Allen.
You don't think that signing Case Keenum recently will have anything to do with that?
No.
Not a big Case Keenum guy?
Not a huge Case. I don't think he's the Great White Hope.
It's a lot of people don't talk about it. Case Keenum went to college for like 12 years. Almost got his PhD off of injury, red shirts, and things of that nature. Troy, what are you expecting to see here from the Broncos?
I'm expecting defense. I mean, they just signed Case Keenum. He had a productive year in Minnesota. I'm expecting them to go defense with Chubb.
Okay. It was interesting early on in the draft process, or not even early on, a couple of weeks ago. I think it was Von Miller had said that Bradley Chubb reminded him of it's like a mix of him with Khalil Mack. I mean, do you see that comparison at all?
Yeah,
I mean, I get the compliment, but do you feel that comparison at all,
Yeah,
John?
Von Miller's great, but that's a terrible comparison. No, I think Bradley Chubb's a great run defender, solid pass rusher. I'm not sure that's where you go with the 5th overall pick. I think they go Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson? I mean, is he the best guard prospect we've seen since David DeCastro, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Plus, it seems like the Broncos have offensive line problems literally every season.
I think you have an argument that the Giants, Seahawks, and Broncos have the 3 worst offensive lines in the NFL.
Seahawks got to be like number 1A. Their line is trash.
Well, that's the Tom Cable effect, and now he's in Oakland. I think the Broncos are probably leaning towards Chubb here. I find that a little strange. I personally believe that Harold Landry is the best defensive end in this draft, or edge player. I guess he could play outside linebacker depending on what your opinion on his abilities are.
Chubb is the biggest name. So people have been saying like, oh, Chubb.
It'll be hard to pass up on Chubb. I don't know how to pass up on the guy.
I'm sorry. I'm just childish. I'm sorry. All right, so the commissioner is at the podium for the 5th overall pick, and with the 5th.
That wasn't a pause moment. No, it wasn't.
Don't make me explain it on here. With the 5th pick in the 2018. Oh, well, it looks like they have a special guest up there to announce the pick. So, are we all in agreement that it's Chubb up here?
Yeah, Bradley Chubb's getting picked.
All right, CD, relax.
I think it's Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson, Chubb. Yes. I think I could see Nelson too. I think I'm gonna go Nelson.
I'm going Chubb.
I'm going Chubb.
All right, Chubb it is. So it's not a unanimous decision up here, but what are they doing?
Can you
chill?
Chill out. If it is a quarterback, will you guys be surprised?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised just because Case Keenum isn't a long-term answer, and I don't think you can trust Paxton Lynch really at all at this point.
It's gonna be a quarterback.
Is Paxton Lynch? Does he even count as a roster player against their salary cap anymore? So with the fifth overall pick, with the 5th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos have selected Bradley Chubb. Let's go ahead and roll that tape.
Bradley Chubb, defensive line, NC State. Potentially the best player in the draft, Chubb is rare. His mix of athleticism and control at his size is uncommon, and makes his small weaknesses like his inability to swipe away from linemen to avoid contact seem like very fixable problems. He can be an elite level edge rusher in the NFL.
All right, the Denver Broncos take Bradley Chubb with the 5th overall pick. Now you got Von Miller, Bradley Chubb on opposite ends.
Lord, good grief.
Von Miller's already called Bradley Chubb a mix of himself and Khalil Mack. That's got to speak to just who Bradley Chubb is as a player, right? Jeremy?
This reminds me of back in 2014 when the Houston Texans had J.J. Watt, and with the number 1 overall pick, they took Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, and then they haven't played together since.
Well, that's another story.
All right.
But the possibility of these two, when healthy, could be the best tandem linebacker pass rush in the league. I mean, Bradley Chubb reminds me of a guy like almost a bigger Khalil Mack in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
I mean, he's a defensive end. Khalil Mack can play defensive end or linebacker.
Absolutely, and I feel like Chubb could play either position in the NFL as well. I think we'll see more of Chubb on the defensive line just because Miller comes on from the linebacker spot. And I feel like it makes a lot of sense for the Broncos. It's the best player available at this point. And I think they were thinking about maybe going with Josh Allen, maybe if they wanted to go quarterback, but I don't think the value was there for them. And Chubb makes sense. Chubb makes a lot of sense for them, and I'm happy
Especially if they don't want to pay Von Miller, don't come down the line.
Down the line.
Anthony?
As of right now, I mean, having Von Miller and Bradley Chubb together, that is going to be scary. I mean, having those two together, you have. I think the fact of the matter is, I don't think Denver was expecting him to be there at 5. So the fact that he was there at 5, they were licking their chops, ready to take him aboard. Yeah. So I think a great pick.
All right,
that was a steal for the Broncos. Honestly, I mean, 10 sacks in each of his last 2 seasons. He's a big physical guy, and him with Von Miller. So now you can't say like, oh well, you know what, we're gonna move our right guard over to play left guard just so Von Miller's guarded. No, because now you got to worry about both sides. Yeah. So Bradley Chubb brings that. I think the unguardableness that we kind of talk about. It's gonna be hard to run against the Broncos. Their rush defense was already top tier. They were number 4 last year, and they're gonna be number 1 this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it was a steal. All right, send it back to Meach.
All right, guys. So the Indianapolis Colts pick is already in. We got enough talk about the Broncos there. This is a team with a lot of holes. Troy, where do you think they're gonna try and adjust with the Colts here at 6?
Bradley Chubb is gone. I'm thinking Roquan Smith at linebacker, or maybe a quarterback. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. What about you, CD?
Yeah, they need some of everything. I really don't, like I said, I don't care about them because they're in the AFC South. So, like, whatever they do, I just
Shouldn't you care about them more then if they're on our division?
No, I don't care about them. I just want them all
Fair. I just want them to pick a bad player, which they probably will because they're the Colts. John, I know you feel the same way.
Yeah, for sure. Chris Ballard has never made a confident move in his career. But, no, I think Nelson and Derwin James should be the pick here. They, like you mentioned, need help really all over.
I mean,
I think those are the 2 best players left in the draft, and you can't go wrong either way.
With Andrew Luck's shoulder basically being made out of sandpaper at this point, you can't really go wrong picking Quentin Nelson, it feels like. Maybe they reach for a tackle here. I don't see it, but...
Well, I don't know. I could see them going McClinchy, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. What about you, Eddie? Any final opinions before the commissioner walks out here?
Yeah, either Nelson I think would be a good pickup for them, or maybe even, like you said, Roquan Smith or Edmonds maybe.
I mean, yeah, either way, the Colts won't ever scare me because they're the worst run franchise in the NFL.
Yeah.
So with I believe this is the 6th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts have selected Quentin Nelson, the offensive guard out of Notre Dame. Let's see those highlights.
Quentin Nelson, offensive guard, Notre Dame. One of the most dominant guard prospects in recent memory, there are clips of him physically dominating defensive players in a manner that feels almost illegal. He plays with such a serious nasty streak and insane power, it's no wonder he's been discussed as the best guard prospect many scouts have seen in decades.
right, the Colts go Quentin Nelson with the 6th pick. Jarrett, 2-part question. How do you like the pick? And then also, does this mean Andrew Luck's going to play this season?
Jeez.
You're asking a lot for that second one.
You know.
I think it's a really good pick to help towards that second point because they need to protect Andrew Luck. He's shown his capability when he's healthy, but that hasn't happened in the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
It's just, I see Quentin Nelson, he is good blindside, I think is what they're going to use him for. Andrew Luck took a lot of hits. He was, I believe, when he played 2 seasons ago, he was the most hit quarterback next to Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, devastating hits too. And he was just slammed.
When your quarterback gets hit, and hit, it's a long season. He's going to get hurt eventually, and I think that eventually caught up to them. I think he's a good pick for the Colts to move forward with Andrew Luck.
And the Colts gave him no help on the O-line his first 3 years. I think they finally, with Andrew Luck missing this whole past season, kind of realized, let's give him an offensive lineman.
The number one thing for a quarterback is being able to stay on the field. That is the number one trait you have to have, and Andrew Luck doesn't have that. Why? Because he's not getting any protection. Quentin Nelson is going to give that protection to Andrew Luck. Hopefully he stays on the field the whole year.
Hopefully Andrew Luck. Hopefully Andrew Luck. Yeah.
So, I mean, with Quentin Nelson, I mean, for him to be ranked in the top 10 as an offensive guard for the first time in I don't know how long, I mean, a guard in the top 10 alone is like really good. So that was a great pick by the Colts. I think they needed somebody like Quentin Nelson.
All right, we're getting reports of a trade. Jeremy, real quick on the 6th pick.
Good pick. He gets to stay in Indiana, but yeah, this trade is really big. I think we should send it back over there.
Yeah, we'll send it back over to Meach for the trade. The 7th pick is being traded.
All right, so off camera, I think it was in between the 5th pick or so, I had looked over at John and I said, it sounds like the Bills don't want to trade 2 first-round picks to move up. Apparently that was incorrect because they have just apparently traded up to the number 7 pick with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Guys, I'm going to start with who do you think they're targeting, and then also what do you think of this move for the Buccaneers and not the Bills? So what do you think, Eddie?
You got to think they're targeting the quarterback. At this point, obviously, I couldn't tell you which one. I mean, maybe. I think Rosen's your best bet. I'm not a huge supporter in Allen. And then I think Tampa saw at the 12th pick someone's still going to be there, whether it's a safety or a running back that they need. I think they realized someone's still going to be there for them at 12, so it was more worth it for them to.
I agree 100% because if they're looking to fix their defense, they still might at 12 have their chance of picking between Derwin, Minka, Roquan, or even Tremaine Edmonds, depending on what they feel like there. And I mean, pick 7 to 12, not all 4 of those guys are going to be gone by the time they're up. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah, I agree pretty much with Eddie. Those defenders are going to be there. They're definitely going quarterback. I see Rosen getting taken by the Bills.
So it was a kind of a joke between me and John a couple days ago. But do you think that the Bills are going to be targeting Josh Allen or Josh Rosen? One of the Joshes is going here, right?
Yeah, you gotta think it's them. I mean, like I mentioned, like we talked about earlier, they haven't even met with Lamar Jackson, during this whole process. So it's going to be Rosen or it's going to be Allen. I've mentioned a few times Rosen's my top guy. Allen, I don't see how you can have any confidence picking him, especially with the lack of.
He's tall and white.
That's a good point. Well, you can't miss there.
He looks good in shorts.
He's throwing to Kelvin Benjamin and Zay Jones if he does get picked there. So good luck, Buffalo.
So according to Adam Schefter, the trade. I don't have all the details, obviously, because it's happening as I'm speaking, but it looks like Tampa will be receiving 2 second-round picks. I'm not sure if that means they just gave up 12 in the 2 seconds to get up, or if that means they gave up 12, 21 in 2 seconds. That feels a little hefty to me.
Yeah.
So the Bills obviously now in possession of that Tampa Bay pick. There's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so left on the clock until their pick is due. I mean, again, what's the delay here? You made the trade. We know you know who you want.
What is with the Bills? They give up so much stuff. It's just like they want to gut their whole roster. It's so weird.
Who needs to surround a young quarterback with talent? Is what I would say.
I mean, if you think
they do it. That's what Marcel Darius, just like here. Jags,
if you think about it, all the moves they made, Darius, Sammy Watkins, all these have been made. And if they pick Josh Allen,
so they still have their second first-round pick tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, they still get to keep that number. What is that? 21, I believe.
Yeah.
So they'll still end up making 2 picks tonight, but they did give away 2 second-round picks. I'm not sure if that's. Did they have 2 second-rounders this year? Maybe from the trade last year.
Yeah.
So you got that. I mean, there's really just not a lot.
That's a good deal for the Bucs, I think.
No, I agree. I think for the Bucs,
that's killer. That's killer. Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're rebuilding a team that's been perennially the last place team in the NFC South every year. It feels like. you can address so many more needs now. But for Buffalo, like CD said, you're losing the leverage you have to surround your young quarterback with talent. Like what wide receivers?
Call the Buffalo Bills now
and make
for
a trade.
And take Hayden Hurst, bro.
No, you take Sean McCoy off their hands.
No, but
my God.
Now you don't have any. What receivers does Buffalo have?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
It's
trash.
It's Zay Jones and
Remember when they tried to throw it at Jalen Ramsey 3 plays in a row
with Nathan Peterman?
No, was it still Nathan?
No, it was
Tyrod.
I'm talking about the end of the game.
Well, that was different.
Yeah,
they tried to throw 3 separate, like back-to-back jump balls on Jalen Ramsey to Kelvin Benjamin.
You know
That's
what?
disrespectful.
You know what? They are going to take Josh Allen. They like inaccurate quarterbacks. They like guys who just don't make good decisions.
It wouldn't shock me if they went with Allen.
Well, I guess we're about to find out because the commissioner is now at the podium. And with the pick that they traded for, that 7th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills have selected Josh Allen, the quarterback out of Wyoming.
Yeah.
Let's see whatever highlights we have of him. I don't know.
Josh Allen, quarterback, Wyoming. Josh Allen is one of the most polarizing players in this year's draft class. He played at a small school, and when they ran into bigger Division I programs, he struggled. His arm strength and size are exactly what scouts dream of in a franchise passer and have them drooling over his potential.
All right, so it ends up being Josh Allen for the Bills. Guys, real quick before we send it over to Jimmy, I just want quick, off-the-top reactions.
Good luck.
I love it. CD, what about you?
Just trash, bro. I feel bad for you, Kyle.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle Graham and Zach Winecki. Troy, what do you think?
That's a Bills pick, man. I didn't expect much.
So we've had one very Bills pick and one very Browns pick so far.
Yeah.
It's an annual tradition here. What about you, John?
I mean, the Bills haven't scored a touchdown in the playoffs in about 2 decades. I don't see that changing anytime soon with this pick.
Hey, good luck beating the Jags with that. You can have as many blue jerseys in that stadium as you think you have.
Yeah, all 5 of them.
They're all outside the stadium.
Yeah, they didn't make it in. We're going to send it over to Jimmy on that note. Jimmy, what do you guys think about that pick?
I had the Bills and Josh Allen married all along, and I've been telling Kyle and Zach, our resident Bills fans, that. I think Kyle accepted it. Zach is probably not coming now tonight. Jared, you go.
As we were saying just off camera, this trade makes absolutely no sense. Why they traded up? So you had the Buccaneers, the Bears, the 49ers, Raiders, and Dolphins picking before you. The only team that was even possibly selecting a quarterback would have been the Dolphins or possibly the Patriots trading up. And I don't think the Patriots would have got Josh Allen. So this pick makes no sense to me. Josh Allen is garbage, as we know.
Okay.
I know Zach and Kyle had somewhat accepted the fact that he was going to be the Bills quarterback, but I don't get it. Inaccurate. Went to Wyoming. He couldn't do anything there. I don't like the pick. I just don't like him as a player.
I personally think Josh Rosen's a better quarterback in probably every. I mean, Josh Allen's bigger, and that's about all he's got.
I mean, do I really need to say any more about Josh Allen?
No, I
think he said all of it. I'm just gonna agree with what Jared said, but just mention he's coming from what kind of conference does he come from? The WAC conference. Well, he's pretty.
The WAC conference.
If it's the WAC conference, he's pretty whack. He's pretty whack, if you ask me. Very inaccurate. I think inaccuracy is not. You need to be accurate in order to be in the NFL. So the fact that he's not accurate at all, I don't get.
I think Josh Allen is the most likely quarterback to start Week 1. I think he's in the best spot to start right away with McCarron there. McCarron hasn't been a starting quarterback yet in the NFL, but I think that the reason why they liked Allen is because he is a cold weather quarterback. I think that definitely helped the Josh Allen's case for Buffalo, and I think that they're laughing over there on the pre-pick set, but I don't know. I don't hate this pick as much as y'all do. I think that the Bills, they saw Tyrod Taylor and they looked at him and they said he's not going to win us a Super Bowl. So now they're hitting the reset button. There's no guarantee that Josh Allen's going to win them Super Bowl.
I just can't wait till Zach gets here. It's going to be great.
McCarron did almost win a playoff game against the Steelers.
I like McCarron.
McCarron should have beat the Steelers.
It'll be a good camp battle.
All right, we're going to send it back to Meech.
Oh, well, I just made the largest mistake of my life, but we'll talk about we'll talk about that later. The who is this? The Chicago Bears are on the clock. Guys, we talked pretty much as much about Josh Allen as we could have there. Where do you guys think the Bears are going and why? Anybody?
I'll start it off, man. I got they got a quarterback last year, Trubisky. This year I believe they're going with a DB.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going defense.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they go DB. I think Derwin James has been the best player left on the board for the last couple of picks here, and the Bears should honestly be feeling pretty lucky that he's fallen into their laps like this. I don't see how they can screw this up, but good chance they do.
There's no way they can screw this pick up as much as I just screwed it.
You're that perplexed, huh?
Yeah, I'm shook. CD.
Second biggest disaster.
CD, what about you, man?
I really like Roquan Smith. I think it's a little bit of a change of pace. You look at when the Bears have been their greatest, it's been linebacker play.
That's true.
From 80s Bears to now. And I think it's a good start there, to get somebody in there that you can kind of build that linebacker core around. But corner, safety.
They did a good job of surrounding Trubisky with talent too in the free agency period. I think.
Isn't Meredith a free agent still?
He's with the Saints.
Yeah, he signed. That was a good pickup by the Saints.
That was a good pickup.
And it makes sense that the Bears let him go too, because you can't have two receivers coming off ACL injuries.
But no, it seems like them and the Bills have done completely different strategies for building around your young quarterback. Which we'll see how it pays off, but I think the Bears have gone about it the right way.
Bears are in a way better.
Yeah, this sets them up to just build a defense now.
Yeah.
Eddie, what about you?
Yeah, they're definitely building up defense. They're not going anywhere on offense. Like you said, Derwin James still being on the board is huge for them. Or as much as I would love Roquan to fall to the Finns, I think he'd be a good fit for them there too. They could use a linebacker.
Yeah, no, I think you can't go wrong if you decide to go Edmonds. It feels like they might go that way. They like young players that they can kind of shape and mold into their own thing. I'm really excited to see what Matt Nagy does with that's who they hired for the. I'm really excited to see what he can do with Trubisky. So after we announce a pick, we're gonna run the package and head to commercial so we can get some more talent rolling through here. With the, I believe, what is this, the 10th pick or the eighth pick? Wow, I'm jumping ahead. With the 8th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears have selected Roquan Smith. It's always good to have another Roquan in the league out of Georgia. Let's see his highlights, and we'll go to commercial after that.
Roquan Smith, linebacker, Georgia. Smith is one of the most dynamic sideline-to-sideline linebackers to come out in the draft recently. Some would argue he was the heart and soul of the Georgia defense that was the best in the country last season. With the ability to play in space and the instincts to play both the run and the pass, he will be a solid addition to any defense for the foreseeable future.
This production is sponsored by... Wait, what is that drug called again? Whatever, just roll the clip. Do you ever have crippling depression due to colleges gouging you for all of your money? Or just blatant anxiety attacks all the time when you can't get into the classes you need to? Well, then we have a drug for you. Introducing radiotelemumab. Who invented that? Side effects include, but are not limited to, violent diarrhea, even worse panic attacks, death, more depression, feelings of desperation and hopelessness, loss of fertility in males, full loss of control of your body, and honestly, just more death. In some cases, people have reported a full change in sexual orientation. But don't let the Westboro Baptist Church find that out. This drug was created by a classroom full of idiots. They got a C on the project, but we got a sellable drug. So if you're feeling depressed and a little bit risky, why not try it? What else do you have to lose, right? Talk to your doctor to find out more about radiotelemumab. You're
supposed to drink alcohol with that.
Well, I already drank it, so what?
All right. The Chicago Bears select Roquan Smith, probably the best inside linebacker in the draft with the 8th overall pick. Unfortunately, I'm talking to a Ravens fan, but we'll go to you first, Carl.
No, great pick. I was actually talking to my good Chicago fan, Blake. He was talking about we can probably get the next Brian Urlacher essentially with Roquan, and they got essentially the next maybe potential Brian Urlacher for their team, for their future. Set down a great inside linebacker. So
yeah, Chicago was built off that linebacking play. Ben, how do you like the linebacker instead of a defensive back that they could have gone?
I'm okay with the pick. He had 95 tackles last year, so they can't really complain. Chicago have been pretty garbage the last few years. So anything they can do to shake it up a little bit, I'm okay with. Roquan Smith has proved that he's gritty and determined, so it's the type of player they need.
Yeah, he'll be a day one starter, day one impact player. Kyle, two-part question. How do you like the 8th pick, but then how do you like the 7th pick?
All right, well, to start off with the 8th before I get emotional.
Yeah.
Right. So Roquan Smith he's a beast for linebacker. I think they were aiming for Denzel Ward, and then, of course, he got picked by the Browns. So they end up, getting Roquan Smith, which is not a bad pick. But honestly, I've brainwashed myself to believe that Josh Allen is the answer.
Yeah.
He has big hands, first of all. Looks good in shorts.
Okay.
And then
Won't
he just
wear
has
shorts much in Buffalo, but all right.
Hey man, in the summer it gets a little hot.
Okay.
A whopping 68 degrees there, ladies and gentlemen.
And he has the strongest arm in the draft. So his footwork is, if you actually watch his highlights, he makes some amazing throws, like off his back foot. Terrible technique.
Yeah.
But if they can somehow develop him, just somehow, he may be the answer.
Do you
And if
think
not, we
they
have
can
AJ
develop
McCarron.
him though?
We have a new offensive coordinator, Ryan DeBoll. He didn't do that well at Alabama with the quarterbacks. He also had a different type of running back that can run and be mobile. So I'm not sure. He was in the Patriot system and did have a chance to work with Tom Brady. So that gives me a little faith. Maybe he can develop Josh Allen, but at least we have AJ McCarron for a year and
that'll be fun to play out. All right, Carl, real quick. How do you like them going linebacker instead of defensive back? Chicago with the 8th pick.
I think essentially their run defense was kind of in the middle, so I think maybe Roquan will help them spice up the defense. But anyone, you got two great talents in that pick. You could have went safety with the defensive back. Either or.
I think the defensive talent, especially in the top 10, you really can't miss on it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that you don't get him, then you get Minka. You don't. It's either or.
While I have you on real quick, who do you want the Ravens to take at 15?
16. Honestly, it all depends on how the rest of the draft falls. You never know.
Who would you like them to get?
Maybe Marcus Davenport. We need a feature outside linebacker to get rushes. Suggs is probably on his last season, so maybe we get that. Maybe Calvin Ridley. Maybe Rashawn Evans. If Evans drops another inside linebacker from Alabama to pair up with CJ Moore.
Linebacker in the class.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, what about at 21 or 22 with the Bills?
Which one they have. I'm actually just really happy they end up keeping their other first-round pick, giving up 2. That's
I could have
kind of good.
finesse, but
they need either a corner or an outside linebacker for sure. So they might even actually need a middle linebacker. So they might get Van Der Esch. So that's what I'm thinking they're probably going to get.
All right, and we're going to send it back over to Meech.
With the 9th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers have selected Mike McGlinchey, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. So we saw his teammate Quentin Nelson go a couple picks before. Now McGlinchey's off the board. Let's see McGlinchey's highlights. Oh, excuse me.
Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. A massive human being at 6'8" and 312 pounds, McGlinchey has a problem with his leg drive and core strength during his time with the Fighting Irish, but offers fluidity and technique that is key to succeed in the NFL as a bookend tackle.
Mike McGlinchey go 9 to San Francisco. I think we're all kind of shocked by this. This is the highest we've seen him in any mock draft. I think maybe a little bit of a reach. We saw Quentin Nelson go 6, Mike McGlinchey go 9. I mean, this does help Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, essentially, you have your franchise quarterback, so why not get him the left tackle to help him? So why not?
Yeah, and I think in the previous mock drafts or a couple months ago, you had maybe Calvin Ridley at this spot to help Jimmy Garoppolo, but Calvin really didn't impress in his workout, so he's not going to be taken in the top 10. I thought that would have been a reach. But I also see this being a reach. Ben, are you surprised they didn't go defensive back here?
Yeah, I am. I mean, Mike McGlinchey, does he exactly fit that thing? I mean, he's a big old boy, but I did expect them to go a different route with this. I didn't see him going this high, maybe, late teens, 18, 19, something like that. But they've obviously got a plan to use him, or they wouldn't have signed him, especially with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
They've got to have a plan to sign a player like this, a bigger, more muscular, more weighty player. 6'8", I don't know how much, 309 pounds, that's a lot.
I mean, this has Jimmy G written all over this pick. I mean, it's just, they made the pick to help Jimmy G and protect him.
He's the franchise.
He's the franchise
How good
guy.
is that Notre Dame offensive line? 2 picks in the top 10.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at Twitter. According to Ian Rappaport, apparently the Cardinals are calling the Raiders right now to get Josh Rosen. So
ooh, okay.
we'll see.
There
what happens.
There we go.
Oh, there he is. It's traded.
The Raiders trade the pick to the Cardinals. All right, we're gonna send it over to Meech to give us another update on that.
Yeah, guys, we were hearing that the Raiders were probably going to trade that pick to the Cardinals, who likely are trying to trade up to get a quarterback in front of the Dolphins. Eddie, This affects you the most, my friend. What did you want Rosen first of all?
Honestly, I didn't think. Last time we saw Tannehill play, he played well. I'm a huge Tannehill supporter as of now. So I wasn't thinking we were going to get a quarterback. I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't have been too mad if Rosen dropped to us and fell in our lap, but I mean, it looks like for sure the Cardinals are going to get him. But
do you think that there's a chance that maybe the Cardinals are trading up to get Lamar? Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I think
because I mean we've heard in the last couple days it seems like they liked him a lot. Maybe that was just a smoke show too, though.
And there's always a chance, you know, like you ask 5 different teams to, you know, rank the top 5 quarterbacks, you're gonna get 5 completely different answers. You know, you never know. The Cardinals could be in love with Lamar.
No, I agree 100%. Troy, what did you think about this trade for the 49ers, and how do you take it if you're the Dolphins, if maybe you were targeting that quarterback?
From the Dolphins, I'm definitely devastated because they wanted a quarterback. As far as the 49ers, it's expected. So.
All right, no, fair enough. CD, do you think they're going Rosen here for sure?
They got to. It's going to be one of the 2 quarterbacks. If they take Lamar, I'm going to secretly bump that outwardly upset because of how much
I would
love
love
him.
to see Lamar Jackson with Larry Fitzgerald.
Hey, Lamar and David Johnson in the same backfield, bro.
Those are some exciting pieces. Yeah. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald might be the greatest receiver of all time to never have a good quarterback on his team. Like that, it's a travesty what's happened to that guy.
Kurt Warner. They did win a Super Bowl.
He's like 48 years old at the time.
Hey, age ain't nothing but a number.
So you could have put like any of us back here. You're throwing to Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden like basically at the height of both of their careers.
Probably the nastiest duos in the last 15 years.
Decade for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Breeston used to cook too.
No, I mean
that trio was nasty, bro.
No one's it was like the
Breaston was putting in one too.
It was like you know how the Eagles used to have Macklin and Jackson, and then they had Avant in the slot. That was kind of what Breaston was to
right until they wanted Riley Cooper to be the feature receiver.
All right, that's problematic for multiple reasons. So we see the Cardinals make this bold move. Was that 2 teams now have traded up to grab quarterbacks, presumably?
Yeah. I mean,
is that
3
just
if you got the Jets?
That's true. Yeah. So is that just the future of needing quarterbacks in the NFL? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, look at not only this year's draft, but look at last year's draft. You know, I mean, the Bears traded up out of nowhere. The Chiefs traded up out of nowhere.
You got to go get your guy.
The Texans traded up. Yeah, I mean, some teams, especially, you know, you see a lot of teams stockpiling ammo with draft picks. It's just the new future of the draft.
And I know if this pick hurts anyone, it hurts Jeremy Taché at home the most. He's been, if the loudest proponent of a Josh Rosen to Miami vocalist that I know of. Before the pick gets made, I want to send it over to Jimmy and the gang and get their opinions on the trade and who they think this is going to end up being here. So, Jimmy, why don't you guys take it away for us?
All right. The Arizona Cardinals trade up to number 10. We presume it's going to be a quarterback against Josh Rosen?
Yeah, I think it's Josh Rosen.
All right, what do you think about Miami wanting Josh Rosen? Did Arizona jump Miami on purpose? Was Miami going to take Josh Rosen?
Perhaps. You know, Tannehill is coming off another injury. You know, you got Matt Moore also back there. Do you trust that, or do you want to maybe potentially go into the future and maybe Josh Rosen would have been the next quarterback in Miami, but Arizona saw the opportunity, even though they did sign Sam Bradford, and they signed him for about, like, what, $20 million?
$20 million.
Yeah, $20 million. Yeah, 1 year for $20 million. But
quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, now you got the NFC West, Russell Wilson, Jimmy G, Jared Goff. Now Arizona gets their quarterback?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they signed Sam Bradford to mentor someone young. Maybe that's what they wanted.
But Bradford's not really a mentor. He's fragile as
He's going to be hurt by week 2.
That's why do you think he's on 1 year? He's there to put in that development for someone like Josh Rosen, who's got unlimited potential as a quarterback out of
by development, you mean by time.
I think if you look at Josh Rosen and Sam Bradford's game, it's similar.
Yeah, sure.
They're both in the pocket accurate when Sam Bradford's on the field.
Most definitely.
Honestly, as a Bills fan, I kind of have to root against Josh Rosen now because what if? Like, what if Josh Rosen is really good?
You
and
might have picked the wrong Josh.
Like,
hey, man, have faith in Allen, man. Have faith.
I do. Big hands, man. Like I said, I like it.
So we all agree that if this is Josh Rosen does get playing time this year?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, of course, because Bradford will get hurt.
Exactly. And you don't trade up if you're not getting, your quarterback. So.
Yeah, of course.
And we just got to hope Larry Fitzgerald stays one more year to be able to play with Josh Rosen.
I don't know if he'll stay after next year. We'll see.
We'll see.
I would love him to. I love Fitz.
I guess we'll see how good Josh Rosen is. All right, we'll send it back to Meach so we can announce the 10th pick. The pick is in.
So before that pick gets announced, to get up to the number 10 overall pick, the Cardinals traded away this year's first-round pick and a third and a fifth-round pick in this year's draft. Commissioner Goodell is now walking up to the stage, and with the 10th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals, I forgot there was a trade, have selected, let's see here. Come on, Raj. You can read faster than that.
Yep.
Josh Rosen, the quarterback out of UCLA, just as we all up here expected. Good pick, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen, quarterback, UCLA. Possibly the most pro-ready quarterback in this year's class. Rosen is a polished passer with a generational footwork and feel in the pocket. After his college career, there are durability and arm strength questions, but his effortless mastery of the nuances of the position make him a desirable signal caller.
All right, Josh Rosen, 10th overall pick to Arizona. Kyle, do you like the move? What are your thoughts on Josh Rosen?
Like I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to root against him, but I kind of wish the Bills drafted Josh Rosen. I think he is a little bit better, but pretend I didn't say that because I trust Josh Allen. I think he's gonna be better. I have to believe in it. I have faith, bro. I have to trust the process. You know.
I just like Josh Allen in Buffalo, then I like Josh Rosen in Arizona.
I think
what about you?
it's true. Like Josh Rosen is not really accustomed to the cold weather, so I think
you gotta take that into consideration when it comes to quarterbacks.
If we even have got like Baker Mayfield, you know, pretend, but like he's from Texas, so it wouldn't work out either.
I don't like him in Cleveland.
He played in Wyoming, so he's probably going to be more accustomed to it. So.
There's two things I like about him. One, he's intelligent, and to be a quarterback, you have to be intelligent. You have to be able to see plays before they happen. The other thing is his footwork. He played tennis as a kid, and the one thing I know about playing tennis, the one thing I know is that you need to have good feet to get around that small area. If he wants to work inside the pocket, he's going to have good feet, be able to use his athleticism with his feet and his movement to make good fake plays, so he can fake out rushes or that sort of thing, and that looks like it'll be a good fit for that sort of offense.
Yeah, I think Josh Rosen was clearly the best quarterback prospect. You know, take off the field stuff, but on the field, Josh Rosen was probably the best quarterback prospect.
Yeah, he's the most pro-ready quarterback out of all.
He's polished.
Yeah, he's most polished and
especially
pro-ready.
in the pocket, like Ben mentioned with the footwork.
He's gonna have to definitely get that footwork together, because when he plays like the Rams, for instance, with Dominican Sue and Aaron Donald,
he's gonna make sure he knows how to juke the correct way.
The 49ers D-line's only getting better as well.
Seattle, you know, the
that's scary.
Yeah, it's
so scary, man.
Josh Rosen's got a lot on his plate in Arizona, but that's only until Bradford gets hurt, of course.
Well, yeah, but then the other issue with Josh Rosen was his durability. That was another question mark.
Yeah,
so,
concussions. I mean,
concussions.
They're real.
They're
out there.
Best available. You know, the best thing is availability.
But now next is Miami. So who do y'all think Miami's gonna take now? Who's left on the board?
I don't know.
So all right, here, let me ask this. Miami at 11, do they get Lamar Jackson? Do they go Lamar Jackson?
Go for him. He's from South Florida.
They should.
Why
They
not?
should get Lamar.
Do they
Why not? Go
Lamar
get Lamar.
Jackson, or do they go Minka Fitzpatrick or Derwin James? Who do they go with?
They might go Derwin James, and that's kind of scary. That's a good pick for them.
I mean, that's not a bad pick, but
we got to get it real quick. Lamar Jackson or defensive back?
Go for Lamar.
Lamar.
Do it.
Heart says Lamar, brain says Derwin.
Same Derwin.
All right, we'll send back over to Meech.
Man, I'm looking at the draft hat that Josh Rosen is wearing. Those draft hats are terrible this year. Like
the worst.
They're garbage, man. Oh my goodness. So Josh Rosen ends up being the pick for the Cardinals. We all agreed that's, I mean, getting potentially the best quarterback in the draft as the fourth one being selected. Well, I mean, obviously we'll see how it plays out. But I thought it was a good pick. I know a lot of you guys up here did. Let's move on to the Dolphins a little bit. So they got jumped for the quarterback. Do you think that maybe they still go quarterback here, Troy?
No, they're not going quarterback. I mean, they're not going to do it with Lamar Jackson. They're going to go defense. I mean, that's the best prospect left.
How do you feel if you're Tampa and you traded away the pick that might, and you trade back and someone takes Derwin right from your lap?
I mean, they're kind of leaving them in a tough spot there. But at the very least, they were able to get some compensation from moving back. You know, unlike the Raiders, it seemed like the Raiders really got back nothing at all from the Cardinals.
Compared to the 2 second-round picks, yeah. CD, what do you think?
Yeah, overall, I think when you look at it, a lot of teams are trying to make their last little chess moves early so they can get their guy. Personally, I'm thinking about Chris. You know, I know he wants Derwin really bad.
Yeah, our good friend Chris Hargrove, Florida State lifer and a huge Seminole fan. It's got to hurt real deep in the gut if Derwin gets ripped right out from underneath him here. What do you think, Eddie? Who do you want the Dolphins to take? These are your Dolphins.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be happy with. I'd be ecstatic for Derwin James. Guy's a stud, and I wouldn't be mad with a guy like Fitzpatrick either. Fitzpatrick's still on the board, but I definitely think we're gonna end up going Derwin.
Do you think we could see? Do you guys think we could see a back-to-back Derwin Minka duo there from Miami Tampa?
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah. That would be interesting because it's always when players of the same position get picked back-to-back, it's interesting to see how their careers play out. But with the 11th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins have selected Minka Fitzpatrick. So the dream for Chris Hargrove to select Derwin James is still alive for the Tampa Bay Bucks. But let's see Minka's career highlights there at Alabama.
Minka Fitzpatrick, safety, Alabama. Fitzpatrick comes from Alabama, so his defensive chops cannot be questioned. He plays safety and corner for the Tide, but will likely slide into safety at the next level. A physical tackler who can also take the ball away from plus hands. Fitzpatrick can be a difference maker on the back end for any defense.
All right, with the 11th pick, the Dolphins take Minka Fitzpatrick. I guess it was just kind of your opinion who you thought was the best safety. Was it Derwin James, Minka Fitzpatrick? I personally like Minka Fitzpatrick better than Derwin James, so I like the pick for the Dolphins. Could play corner or safety. Carl, what are your opinions?
Well, it was a good solid pick for the Dolphins, sure, and the secondary for them. So they could have either way. It's like you want the physical bruiser in Derwin or the more handsy ball coverage guy in Minka. So
yeah, I think it was a great pick, Ben.
Yeah, proved us all wrong. No, I like Minka's physicality. I like his tenacity. I like that he's off the edge. He could blitz dangerously, which is scary for any offense to have someone with that size coming at you, and that someone with that physical and that good with their hands. It could be. I mean, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of it.
I think the safeties coming out of Alabama in recent years have a track record for themselves with HaHa Clinton Dix, Eddie Jackson, Landon Collins. Kyle.
I mean, I think Derwin James would have been the better pick, but I mean, they can't go wrong with.
I think it's just whoever you like.
Yeah,
Patrick,
I mean,
preference.
It could be just better for their system. I'm not really. I don't know Dolphins defense too much, but I like Fitzpatrick's confidence. I think he's, except for his comment about UCF. I mean, I don't care for that, but I think
listen to the story.
I think he's learned a lot at Alabama. He's gonna be a good leader for them, and he's a good pick.
So that being said, if it was Derwin James or Minka Fitzpatrick, whichever one's the Dolphins like better, of course they like Fitzpatrick. What do you think about Meech's point of back-to-back safeties? Do you see Derwin James going to Tampa?
I think they do. They had T.J. Ward. Is he still there? If not, he's a free agent. They definitely do need a safety. So I think it could possibly happen.
Tampa has a good roster. It's the defensive backfield definitely needs help.
Yeah, for sure.
Ben?
Yes, I mean I can't agree more with Kyle. Miami made that pick. Good pick, solid pick. Derwin James is available. Should Tampa take him if they need defensive help? Then yes.
Carl?
Yeah, solid pick. I will be surprised that Derwin James help solidify the secondary for Tampa Bay.
Do you see anything else that Tampa could go for another defensive player? I don't think they really need much help on offense. They went O.J. Howard last year.
We'll see what O.J. could do. Maybe offensive tackle. Maybe Connor Williams.
Yeah,
I could say keep Jameson on the float, but other than that, maybe cornerback. Maybe Josh Jackson, possibly.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be a surprise pick, maybe, but.
I'm just surprised Derwin James is still on the board. I was surprised Minka Fitzpatrick was still on the board. I thought those were two top 10 picks, but a couple surprises in the first round. That's what you get.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were worried about Minka's him playing himself out too hard, getting gassed at the end of big games. I think that's what a lot of people were worried about. That might be the reason he dropped to 11.
Yeah, and I think another reason was because he didn't have a set position. They didn't know if he was going to play corner or safety, and I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Versatility is good in modern NFL.
Yeah, look at Jalen Ramsey. He came in as a safety, but he's playing all-pro level at corner right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's send it back over to Meech.
I'm gonna start this off with Carl. Don't ever compare Jalen Ramsey and Minka Fitzpatrick in your life ever again, please. They're not the same. They're not. All right, Jimmy Calhoun doesn't know anything about the NFL because he just said that Minka Fitzpatrick
Clearly,
is
his team lost twice to the Jags.
No, it's fine. Jarrett Kappelman with the gem of the night. The fact 4 quarterbacks have never been taken in the top 10 in the NFL draft, and we saw that here tonight. Pretty historic, I guess. What do you guys think about, first of all, Minka going to Miami, and where do you expect the Buccaneers to go here?
I'm not mad at Minka coming to Miami at all. I'm happy with it. Like I said, him or Derwin I would have been happy with, and now that Derwin's still there, I think Tampa got exactly what they wanted.
Does it scare you at all that maybe Derwin now goes on to have the better career than Minka?
I mean, you know, like kind of like Kyle said over there, like, you know, I can't think about that. I gotta be a Fitzpatrick supporter now.
I appreciate the honesty. CD, what about you, man?
Yeah, Tampa Bay's got to go Derwin here. They have to. Hargreaves is freaking trash. Remember when they actually said that he was going to be better than Jalen Ramsey?
I was just about to say, remember the talk when people used to say
Hilarious.
that Vernon Hargreaves was good and better than Jalen Ramsey? Because I got receipts on some of you people. John, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know I've said this at least 5 times tonight, but I think this pick's got to be Derwin. Like,
I feel like there's somebody like that every week, every
yeah.
year. Troy?
It's going to be Derwin. We all know that. That's what we're taking on.
I mean, that's what scares me, though, is that we all agree that it's Derwin.
We all agree. So it's 100% not going to be him.
So after so after the Bucks, I believe the 12th pick is now the Raiders. Or, no, I'm sorry. Who did the Bills trade that pick to? The Bucket. No, I know so the Buccaneers have this pick. Washington picks next. Yeah. What do you guys expect from Washington? Anything? Is it fair to expect anything from Washington?
Everybody's been saying, you know, them and Vita Vea is the worst kept secret in the draft. So I'm just gonna go with that.
Vita Vea? Yeah, I could see it. It's surprising he hasn't been taken yet, but when there's 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10, I guess that pushes back all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
CD?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got boring Alex Smith at quarterback. You got Doxson.
Is Alex Smith the most average quarterback of all time?
Joe Flacco, probably.
It's him or Andy Dalton, right?
Average and trash, Joe Flacco.
No. All right, so the commissioner has come out. He's going to announce the 12th pick in this year's NFL draft, which the Buccaneers acquired from their trade with Buffalo, where Buffalo netted Josh Allen. And with this pick, the Buccaneers have selected Vita Vea.
Wow.
So stolen right underneath the Redskins.
The dude from Moana.
So he does kind of look like the Rock's character from Moana, but we're gonna play the tape here first.
Vita Vea, defensive tackle, Washington. Vea is a rare defensive tackle talent that offers run stuffing ability with very clear upside as a pass rusher from the inside. He has heavy feet, which often affects the effectiveness of his footwork, but his quickness and power can possibly cover these weaknesses at the next level.
All right, so the Washington Redskins are now on the clock with the 13th overall pick in the draft. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just preceded them by selecting Vita Vea. With that, we will go to commercial, and when we come back, we will have Jimmy talking about the Washington Redskins.
Do you like sports? Do you like reading about sports? Then we got a sports blog just for you. Stay on my peripherals. That's not fun. Hitting the field.
The first student-run sports blog.
For sports fans.
By sports fans.
See, it's all about the product shot.
Where do you want me to stand?
Don't talk though, I want them to see the hole.
Hitting the field. We cover football. We cover basketball. And so much more.
He's out! By sports reporters. And Meech.
What up? Watch the show and read the sports blog. Hitting the field.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Are we talking right now? Like just doing this? Yeah. Good to be with you, buddy. Good to be in the same team with you again.
All right, Vita Vea goes to Tampa with the 12th pick. This is surprising on a couple different fronts. First of all, Tampa Bay you think of their defense, you think a strong front seven and issues in the secondary, so I'm not sure why they go Vita Vea at defensive tackle. And then you also have John, who's over on the other set, said Washington and Vita Vea were kind of tied together just like Josh Allen and Buffalo was. Evan, what's your reaction to the pick?
All I care about right now is the Jets pick. I mean, Sam Darnold, he's a future Super Bowl champion with the Jets.
Oh, yeah, I should preface this as Evan Abramson, our resident Jets fan. So that was going to be my second question to you.
All right, look, I'm moving to the important question. We can't waste time on this small stuff. I mean, it just has to go to the big stuff right away, the big breaking news out of the night. I mean, Sam Darnold, he's a guy who played 2 years at USC. I mean, got over 7,000 passing yards. He's going to lead this team to a Super Bowl. I mean, they've got the defense. They need that little inside rusher and that blitz. I mean, I think the Jets can pull together, and I think that they can be a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, check back with me in 15 years.
It's
Ben
getting-
Sanders,
Ooh.
what do you Tampa Bay pick?
Tampa Bay pick.
Vita
Vita Vea. What was that shampoo company that used to have an endorsement deal with Troy Polamalu?
Head and Shoulders.
Yes, they've got a new guy. And that's the extent I know about Vita Vea.
All right, I'll take it. Anything in the same conversation as Troy Polamalu, you got me. Jared Kaplan.
Vita Vea, up the middle. Very good.
325 pounds coming out of college.
I mean, he's going to get stronger, which is scary.
I just wanted to
And he's
say
going to
a
get,
joke.
I mean, more physical. The thing, stopping the run game.
Yeah.
Washington got him to stop the run game. The Eagles ran all over them last year. The Cowboys ran all over him last year. And I think that Saquon pick now, the Giants are going to run all over him. So I think they were thinking, we need someone to stop the run. I like this pick for them. I think it's going to set them up to be a better rush defense, maybe break into that top 15, top 10 rush defense.
Yeah,
But
this pick just surprises me because now they're meshing him with Gerald McCoy, and so I mean, like you said, stopping the runs is probably a priority. I would have went with Deron Payne. I think he's the best defensive tackle, but I guess we'll see. I think maybe that's where Washington goes. Washington needs a defensive tackle. I think they go Deron Payne. Evan, we're going to Meach actually.
All right, so we're back here on Hitting the Field. Guys, we saw Vita Vea go. I mean, John, you said it yourself. It seemed like Vita Vea and Washington were a match made in heaven. Now he's gone. What do they do?
I mean, I feel like a jerk if I just keep saying over and over they should take Derwin James, but I mean I feel like that's the most obvious pick right now. But Deron Payne also seems like the perfect Washington type of defensive lineman, that they kind of covet in recent years. So I could see that too.
I just have to say the cutest baby in the entire world just walked into the studio. Nick, would you mind bringing Amari up here? I think we need a little spirit to lift something to lift our spirits. Hey, buddy. Guys, this is Amari Santiago. He's camera shy.
Let's go Giants, Saquon Barkley, let's go!
All right, thank you, Nick. Hello, Sabrina. Hello, Amari. Glad to have you guys in the studio. Armand, the Washington's about to make their pick. Just gut feeling, who do you think it's going to be?
What? I like to see them get Dorian James.
I feel bad doing this to Durham, but
I like them because they need.
It feels like we're doing something to it. Like some bad juju.
They need a cornerback, and they move in. He's a safety, but if they move in the cornerback, I think he'll be.
I don't think he should move Durham to cornerback, man. You're getting rid of some of his strongest traits. Let him play with instincts. All right, with the Nick. I need you to. I can't read the screen. So the Washington Redskins have selected. I didn't.
Deron Payne.
Deron Payne out of Alabama. So they couldn't get their defensive tackle in Vita Vea, so they settled for Deron Payne out of Alabama. Let's see. Let's check out Deron Payne's highlights.
Deron Payne, defensive tackle, Alabama. Payne is an elite level run stuffer who can still fill two gaps while playing with ridiculous strength. He's lacking in pass rushing ability due to being slow off the snap, coming with less shoes than you would expect from a player as disruptive as Payne is. A respected leader in the Alabama locker room, Payne has the potential to anchor a defense.
All right, the Washington Redskins end up going with defensive tackle Deron Payne. I think we were all under the impression they were going with Vita Vea. Vita Vea's taken. They go with the second best defensive tackle, in my opinion, the first, Deron Payne. We also have breaking news. The Packers at the 14th pick trade to the Saints. The Saints now the 14th pick are on the clock. We'll get to that in a second. Evan, real quick, how do you like Deron Payne in Washington?
I think he's got a lot of skills. I think he fits the needs that they have. I think that they're in that position right now where they can make a big jump if they get the position players they need. They need to really focus on not necessarily getting the best guy available, but getting the best fit and the best chemistry for the team.
They really needed a nose tackle, and that's why I think they were matched with Vita Vea. Vita Vea's gone. Deron Payne's the next best thing. Ben.
He's a tank that can move, which I think is always helpful. Another one of those strong defensive players that you were talking about previously out of Alabama. I think it's a good pick for the Redskins. I wouldn't want to come up against him, and that's another big guy, 6'3", 311 pounds, but can move as well. He's not a statue.
That's why I like Daron Payne, because I think Vita Vea can maybe stop the run a little bit better, but Daron Payne can stop the run and get to the passer.
I think that was a big thing. This might actually benefit the Redskins. Being able to have him not drop back in coverage, but for, say, like, play the contain on the quarterbacks, quarterback scrambling. 'Cause I don't think Vita Vea is going to stop, like, a Lamar Jackson for, say, running out of the pocket.
But you saw what Daron Payne did in the national semifinals and the national championship game, earned him this top 15 pick.
That is, he definitely made a name for himself, without a doubt. Daron Payne, though, the one thing, his character.
Yeah,
and I think
guy.
it's going to be great locker room vibes for a team. And for the Redskins, that was an edgy team.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, I think they got rid of him for not only football reasons, but off the field reasons.
Yeah.
I think they're going to bring back, that positive vibes into the locker room. I think this was more than a football pick.
And I just trust Alabama I just trust Alabama defensive players. I just do. All right, so the Packers had the 14th pick. They trade with the Saints. The Saints are now on the clock with the 14th pick. Evan, real quick, who do you think they're going with?
I really have no idea. I think at this point the Saints need to go with the best available talent, not necessarily you're at that point of draft where right now you're getting towards where the best players for those positions are gone. The guys that you plan on getting aren't there, or maybe they are still there. But at this point, I think you're at number 15 or 14 in the draft, where you need to say, all right, who's the best guy, talent and attitude? Who's the best guy that will help make the team better?
Yeah.
And I think at this point, you just need to look at not necessarily what your team needs, but who can bring that team together. The Saints did a great job last year, had a lot of success, and I think they can continue that if they get a big player, especially in that secondary.
Yeah, and I think the Saints have a player in target because the details about this trade just came out. The Saints are trading their first-round pick this year and next year for this 14th overall pick. Ben, do you have a player in mind that they're going with?
Just branching off what Evan said, I think Derwin James is the best available player, and it doesn't matter what system I have, I want the best available player next, and he's the one with the most talent, I think, and that can give most to any organization, so I'd be looking that sort of area.
Yeah, that Saints defense made a huge improvement last year. Derwin James would only help that. What about Lamar Jackson, maybe?
I actually see back-to-back Alabama players. I think Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley, okay.
They're going to add another offensive weapon, which will take them to a whole nother level.
Yeah, Michael Thomas at the 1, Calvin Ridley comes in as a
and then you have
2.
the dual threat running backs. That team will be dangerous.
I love that pick. I actually agree. I think they should go Calvin Ridley because, like I said, that defense made a huge improvement last year. I'm not sure if they need Derwin James.
They're one tackle away from being in the NFC Championship.
Exactly.
We can't overlook that. They were one tackle.
Yeah. Derwin James and Calvin Ridley will both be day one impact players. I love Calvin Ridley, though. So
I think the guy can catch, and that's something that has going for him. Like, he's not just a wide receiver that can run. He's a wide receiver that can run and make plays.
Yeah,
and that's going to be helpful.
And I don't think the Saints have a clear-cut number 2. Calvin Ridley would come in and be that clear-cut number 2.
He would be the clear-cut 2, and 2 young guys, because Thomas is third year, going into his third year. I think that would be a great tandem to have there.
I think it would,
Just room to develop.
All right, let's send it back to Meech.
All right, guys, like they said, the Saints traded their first-round pick this year, their first-round pick next year, and a fifth-round pick from this season to trade up to the number 14 spot with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to disagree with the guys over there. I don't think you can trade 2 first-round picks to get a wide receiver. I don't think Calvin Ridley's that good. The last receiver we saw get multiple first-round picks traded up for him was Julio Jones and Sammy Watkins. Those guys feel like different kinds of athletes to me than what you would get out of Calvin Ridley. I feel like this is a quarterback. I feel like it's Lamar Jackson. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll go. You got to think, you're trading up like that, and for what they gave up, you got to think they're going quarterback. It is kind of crazy to see that there's still so many. We haven't seen one receiver go, right?
Right.
No. So, you got to think they're going quarterback, even though as good as I think Calvin Ridley is good, and there's a couple other, Sutton out of SMU. There's a lot of good receivers still left, but I think they go Lamar.
All right. John, you were saying that you think it's definitely Lamar Jackson, and Andre, I believe you said that too. What do you guys think of the potential fit of Lamar Jackson learning behind Drew Brees for a couple more seasons and then finally getting to play in that Sean Payton offense?
Yeah, I don't think there's a better fit for Lamar in the NFL. I think they can open things wide up with him. Sean Payton shows that he can adapt. He can get creative with both the pass and run scheme. And plus, you got to think they're adding Lamar. If they pick him, they'd be adding him to Kamara in the backfield and Michael Thomas on the outside. That's an elite trio.
And they just, like
players.
we said earlier, brought in Cameron Meredith in the offseason.
Yeah.
They just signed, what tight end did they do? Benjamin Watson.
Yeah.
And, they still have the ammunition if they want in the second round to get another tight end because it looks like right now there's going to be a couple good guys left. Andre, what do you think?
Definitely Lamar Jackson. You saw the picks they traded. You only trade that many picks. You don't trade all those picks for a wide receiver.
Exactly.
You trade those for a
100%.
franchise guy.
Exactly.
That franchise guy is going to be Lamar Jackson. I mean, I could be wrong again. Baker Mayfield's went number 1. A lot of crazy stuff has happened in this draft. But the smart thing would be Lamar Jackson.
I mean, smart money says when you trade that kind of stuff, it does appear to be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
For the Packers, I feel like this is a good move too. You know, you pick up that extra pick in the first round next year. It's a Saints pick, though. Who knows where that'll end up? But a first-round pick's a first-round pick. Armand?
Actually, if they pick Lamar Jackson, I really like that pickup because, you know, you have Lamar Jackson and Alvin Kamara in the open field. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous offense right there.
And like John said, then you have in the red zone, you have a guy like Mike Thomas, who's just one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL, I would say. And just a true up-and-comer. If not, he's already arrived.
I feel like his style meshes really well with how Lamar is as a quarterback as well.
Yep. Exactly. And just the match of Sean Payton with Lamar Jackson, just you need someone with that kind of creative play calling that is going to take Lamar at what he is and let him do what he does best to start and eventually become groomed in a way. Yeah. And there's not a better guy to learn behind than Drew Brees. I mean, the most prolific passer in NFL history, some would argue. I think if it is Lamar Jackson, I love this trade for New Orleans, and I don't think there's a better trade that they could have done. But
I think Lamar's definitely he's a little underrated, especially the guy's got a cannon for an arm, probably one of the strongest arms in the draft. So he's definitely getting underrated, and I think like everyone's been saying, it's definitely a great pickup for them.
Armand, any last second thoughts before the commissioner comes out and I have to rudely cut you off again?
I just hope it's Lamar. I think it's a great opportunity to be mentoring behind Drew Brees.
I wish the people behind camera would stop acting like fools so we could actually do our jobs up here. But here we go with the what is this? I cannot see anything. With the 14th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints have traded up with the Green Bay Packers in order to select. I feel like this is going to be a shocker, and I'm not really excited about it. They have picked Marcus Davenport.
Wow.
So
what are you talking? He's sitting over here saying it's Derwin. Like he just got like the text.
I thought it was Derwin James.
Sources say no. So Marcus Davenport it is. It's really not that funny. I don't know why you guys are laughing so hard. So Marcus Davenport, it is a shocker. But we're gonna send it over to Jimmy after we see this video package of his highlights.
Marcus Davenport, defensive line, UTSA. Much like Will Hernandez, Davenport is relatively unknown to the common fan due to his small school background. He plays a bit high for an edge rusher and sometimes a slow changing direction, but Davenport is able to move laterally better than most and offers a lot of hand combos for someone at his age and level of experience.
The Saints, with probably the shocker of the draft so far, trade up to 14 with the Packers and select probably the second best pass rusher in this draft behind Bradley Chubb and Marcus Davenport. We were thinking quarterback with Lamar Jackson. We're thinking receiver with Calvin Ridley. Thinking Derwin James, defensive back. Man, what do you make of this?
I think it's a good pick. I definitely think Marcus Davenport is a player that will impact you on the field. He last year he had 8.5 sacks, and he had 6.5 the year before. So he brings that pressure. He went to UTSA, so a little bit unknown question mark. Yeah. But he's earned this spot. He's played hard. The one thing that I really like about him, his mobility. He's very mobile. His lateral movement is probably, I think, the best in the draft class this year. He's not a Bradley Chubb, but he's Marcus Davenport, which he's going to make a name for himself. I'll give it 3 years. He's going to be a household name.
All right, well, he's being paired with Cameron Jordan, opposite ends of Cameron Jordan in New Orleans. Ben, how do you like the pick?
To trade up and then leave those three players that we mentioned out and go for Marcus Davenport. It's a little out of left field, but then again, these GMs then get paid a lot of money to figure this sort of thing out. So does it fit for their system? It probably does.
I just, giving up a first next year, I know it's not going to be a high first-round pick because New Orleans is going to be really good next year, but I mean, second best pass rusher.
That's the thing I was worried about. I was worried about trading a first for Marcus Davenport. It's a big risk.
It's a big risk. Evan.
I mean, I agree with all you guys. The important thing is that you see and you analyze the talents that's available in this draft year. You don't know who or what's going to happen next year, so you go with what you know is on the table right now. I think it's a smart move. I think what the important thing to look at, though, is with the Ravens up next, I think it's a good spot for them to, after the Raiders take their pick, it's a good spot for them to focus on what they need. And I think what they can really do is get a good defensive player, especially with none other than UCS Mike Hughes coming up. I mean, he's that second best cornerback left in the draft right now.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because Oakland's up next. They had the 10th pick, traded with the Cardinals for the 15th pick, and I think they might get their guy that they were going to get at 10 in Derwin James.
I don't know.
We don't even know now with all the surprises. But
I'm thinking, what is Derwin James thinking right now?
Yeah.
All this hype, he's going to be a top 5 pick. Oh, you're not going to even be there by pick 5. You're going to be this, you're going to be that. Not only is he getting picked later, but he's going to a better team. So if I'm him, I'm happy. You know, hey, I wasn't the first overall pick, but he's going to go to a good team.
If you're a player in the NFL and you're coming into the draft, do you really care about which team I'm going to? You just want, if you're a real player, if you really care about the game, you want to play for no matter what team.
You want to play, but you want to go to the right coaching staff that's going to
I think it's more about the coaching staff rather than who they play like or how good they are.
All right, we're going to send it over. We have our first interview of the night, Jessica Herman. Let's see who she has.
Hi, everyone. I'm with Zach Winecki, huge Bills fan over here. So I wanted to talk to him about Josh Allen with that big pick. How do you feel?
It's not a big pick. It's a bad pick.
Tell me why.
Because the best quarterback in the draft is still on the board, in Lamar Jackson, and the Bills trade up to get someone who's bad.
Why do you necessarily think he's bad and you wanted Lamar Jackson more?
Because he threw for 1,600 yards in the Mountain West Conference.
So you're dead set that was a terrible pick?
Yeah, I think I can do that. I could be a better quarterback.
All right.
So pick me. I'm still on the board.
Bills quarterback next year, Zach Winecki. How are you doing, everyone? Well, thank you for our first live audience. I'm going to toss it back over to Meech. Thanks, guys.
Quick poll. How many of you guys up here do believe that Zach could have thrown for 1,600 yards in the Mountain West last season? Raise your hand. All right, fair enough. So that being said, Josh Allen was the pick for the Bills, but the Raiders are now on the clock. Marcus Davenport, that huge shocking trade. John, the Raiders have to go Derwin James here, right?
I mean, you would think it's either him or Edmonds because it seems like defensive back and linebacker, they're always a complete mess. So it seems like they're in the perfect position. They've done nothing to deserve it after that terrible trade back and every terrible move John Gruden has made, but it's worked out for them unless they make a terrible mistake.
All right, and Armand, your rival team from across the bay, what do you think?
I think Derwin James to Oakland is a no-brainer because they need a safety. They need someone young, someone physical.
They've missed on so many safeties in the first and second round these last couple years.
Yeah,
so
just like in the last 2 or 3 drafts alone.
Because that secondary is not getting any younger. So.
All right, so Commissioner Goodell is up, and with the 15th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders have selected Colton Miller, the offensive tackle out of UCLA. Derwin James is still on the board, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. Do we have Colton Miller highlights? If we do, let's run them.
Yeah, we do.
Jimmy, are we?
Colton Miller, tackle, UCLA. Colton Miller stands as one of the Jazz's biggest tackles at 6'9", and had a very nice 2 years block for Josh Rosen. He also stands out as one of the fastest linemen in this draft, which is why he has been zoomed up to draft boards. He's a plug-and-play guy that could see himself starting in September.
All right, the Raiders with another surprise in this draft. I could have sworn they were going Derwin James. They end up going offensive tackle Colton Miller with the 15th pick. These offensive linemen just keep climbing up the draft boards. I think just maybe a month ago there was only Quentin Nelson in the first round as an offensive lineman. Derwin James still on the board. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll also get to another trade. The Ravens actually traded out of that 15th pick with the Bills. But Evan, your reaction on Colton Miller to the Raiders?
I mean, like you said, I mean, the offensive linemen, the offensive tackles and guards are moving up. I mean, at this rate, I'm wondering when Will Hernandez is going to go up. I mean, you're looking at him right now. He's the 11th best player according to ESPN left in the draft.
I thought Will Hernandez was second best offensive lineman going into this draft.
I mean, look, there's a lot of players being left off, especially like Zach Winecki. I mean, apparently the next Lamar Jackson or
we'll
next
get to
Josh
that,
Allen.
or we're not going to get to that. But Ben, go.
This is another pick that sort of caught us all off guard when it came in. Me and you just looked at each other. He's a good player, but should he go as high as 15th? It's another one of these picks that it has to fit their system, and the Raiders picked him for a reason, obviously, to leave Derwin James and Lamar Jackson out there.
And I thought Oakland had a decent offensive line. I didn't think offensive line was that much of a need, like defensive back.
Do they need like someone in the secondary? Do you think that's why they have to
the
pick
Raiders' defense is awful, so that's why I thought for sure they were going.
That's
Derwin
exactly
James.
where I was going. I don't think they're looking at the team needs. I think they're just doing a fantasy draft at this point.
Well, but the one thing you could say, though, is that, I mean, do you need a good defense if you can outscore your opponents?
The Raiders tried that 2 years ago, finished 10-6, and Derek Carr, didn't make it in the playoffs.
10-6 isn't a bad record, though. I mean,
okay, I'll tell you, the Super Bowl, those teams tried to outscore each other, and you want to know what won the game? A strip sack.
Yeah.
So defense is going to make that game-winning play every single time. My thing is Derwin James. Yes, was he a bit overrated coming into the draft? Up for debate. But it's still Derwin James.
Yeah.
He's a top safety. He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year.
I just feel like the Raiders defense could have used Derwin James. Now, the Bills trade with the Ravens for that 16th pick. Who do the Bills take at 16? Quick.
I have no idea. I mean, I think the Bills would love Lamar Jackson, but...
Oh, but they already got their quarterback.
Hey, you take a better backup. I mean... see who does better in training camp.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised. Bills management is like that.
Calvin Ridley's still available, and I think they
need a lot of help.
Yeah, they need some more help on offense. Maybe someone in the secondary, someone with hands. Maybe Calvin Ridley goes there. Maybe a little close to home. Maybe if they want someone with some aggression and they don't think they can land Derwin James, maybe they could go for like a Mike Hughes or something.
I think the other thing to remember is the next best safety is all the way down the list, 25, Justin Reed. So I mean, I don't think you're going to be going for him anytime soon.
Exactly.
It's Ridley or James. Has to be one of those two.
I think they go defense, maybe Tremaine Edmonds.
They can add, I mean, they already have Trey White. Make it younger. Make the secondary younger. One more, I mean.
All right, back over to Meach.
All right, so we have a Ravens fan up here now, Carl Max. Just quick reaction to your Ravens trading back. They did pick up the 65th and 154th pick to move back 6 spots with the Bills there.
Well, I guess we didn't really need Derwin James. It would have been a nice pickup. That's who I would have wanted at the 16th pick. But seeing that who we were mocked for, I think we could potentially still get like a Calvin Ridley with the 22nd pick, and now we get an extra second-round pick. So I don't mind the trade right now.
All right, and with the 16th selection that previously belonged to Baltimore, the Bills have selected Tremaine Edmonds, the outside linebacker out of Virginia Tech.
Wow.
I think he is the youngest player in the draft. So big move there. Let's see his highlights.
Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech. Tremaine Edmonds has the looks for your starting outside linebacker for the next 8 to 10 years. He turns 20 next week, but has the maturity of a veteran 10 years older. His NFL size and agility would create problems for the opposing quarterbacks, and he can play multiple positions in the front seven.
All right, with the 16th pick, the Bills trade up to take Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker. Texas. There we go.
They want to let you know who it is.
I mean, probably the first, or one of the best outside linebackers in the draft. Evan, do you think this was a need for Buffalo? Who do you think?
I think the Bills are heading in the right direction. We saw it last year, making the playoffs. I mean, his prospect rate is 7.17. I mean, he can be a Pro Bowler, I think, from Virginia Tech, a very tough football school. And look, the Bills are going to need all the help on defense they can get now with facing off against Sam Darnold from the Jets. I mean, they're going to need the help.
Tom Brady's also in that division. Ben, go.
He's an effort guy. He's a young guy. He's an effort guy. The Bills, they need to acquire people like that because their defense is shocking. Yeah. And their offense is shocking too. But they need people like Tremaine Edmonds. So, I mean, with Derwin James still out there, I thought that maybe they should have picked him. But Tremaine Edmonds, he's a prospect. He's a long-term prospect. But if they're going for a long-term plan, it might be the right type of guy, especially at his age.
Yeah, I think Derwin James may be the better player, but Tremaine Edmonds fits the need in Buffalo.
I think it fits the scheme more. More of that. I think they're running a 4-3, if I'm correct. The Bills are running a 4-3. He fits into their play style. I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna use him as much, pass coverage. More of get after the runner.
Yeah, he can get after the quarterback.
He's 4'5", 40, fast guy. He's gonna get after it, physical. And again, it almost makes up for their Josh Allen pick. But I think they invested a lot into this first round. So I'm saying if the Bills don't make the playoffs this year,
after they made it last year,
I would say right now they're looking like that's their goal again. If they don't make the playoffs though, this was a complete waste.
All right. Again, Tremaine Edwards, probably the second best outside linebacker in this class, goes to Buffalo, and I think it is a position in need. All right, send it back over to Meach.
All right, guys. Tremaine Edmonds, the pick there for the Bills. The Chargers are now on the clock. They're a team that, always at the beginning of the season and towards the end of the season, they get hyped up as the team to beat in the AFC West. What do you guys see them targeting here at 17 overall? Eddie, why don't you kick us off?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they went. I know you've been saying up here if they went with a quarterback in Lamar Jackson. I don't know if it'd be the best fit for him, but I wouldn't be surprised. You got a guy. They need an offensive tackle too. You got a guy like Orlando Brown who's still on the board, so they could go somewhere like that.
All right, and with that, thank you, Eddie. With about 5 minutes left on the Chargers pick, we are going to swing it to commercial break. We'll be right back here with the Hitting the Field Draft Show after this break.
This production is sponsored by. Wait, what is that drug called again? Whatever, just roll the clip. Do you ever have crippling depression due to colleges gouging you for all of your money? Or just blatant anxiety attacks all the time when you can't get into the classes you need to? Well, then we have a drug for you. Introducing radiotelemumab. Who invented that? Side effects include, but are not limited to, violent diarrhea, even worse panic attacks, death, more depression, feelings of desperation and hopelessness, loss of fertility in males, full loss of control of your body, and honestly, just more death. In some cases, people have reported a full change in sexual orientation. But don't let the Westboro Baptist Church find that out. This drug was created by a classroom full of idiots. They got a C on the project, but we got a sellable drug. So if you're feeling depressed and a little bit risky, why not try it? What else do you have to lose, right? Talk to your doctor to find out more about radiotelemumab. You're
not supposed to drink alcohol with that.
Well, I already drank it, so what?
America's got a big problem losing your keys. Hi, I'm Locksmith, and I'm here to serve your car problems. Locked your keys out of your car? We gotcha. Lost your keys? I'll go and find them. Our newly trained convicts can break into any car. This Papa John's car, we'll get that pizza for you. Punch buggy, punch yeah! Yellow cars, black cars, boats! Don't forget about boats, guys! We got boats! This car, yes you? Yeah you! We can break into your car any day, any time! You should get some more business because of this. Sir, whoa, sir, do you need help? Sir, are your keys locked in your car? Move aside, sir, I'm an expert. Ah.
Hi everyone, we're back again with Zach Winecki. I have to talk to you about Tremaine Edmonds. How do you feel about that trade?
I'm going to talk about Josh Allen. That was a bad pick, to pick Josh Allen, a bad trade. And they made another bad trade. They wasted all their picks. That was the only thing they had is draft capital. They got rid of their best player, and now they have no picks. They have a bad quarterback with big hands, though. That's awesome. And now they have the best linebacker in the draft. But they could have rectified it. They could have fixed all their problems and drafted Lamar Jackson at 16. They blew it.
So you are not happy with your team is what I can say after this conversation.
No, you see I'm not wearing a Bills shirt. This is the only team I care about. The Dark Knight. When Gotham City needed him the most, he came through. When I needed the Bills the most, they failed me.
Well,
McBean failed.
Unfortunately, we don't have a happy camper. So with that, I'm going to end it and just toss it back over to Meech. Thanks, all.
I think I can speak for everyone when I say that Zach is the most interesting character that we have here on Hitting the Field.
100%.
Thanks. That was impressive. That was an impressive rant. Tatiana Smallwood joins us now on the Hitting the Field Draft Show. Tati, congratulations on the Saquon Barkley pick. Woo! How do you feel for your Giants?
So I'm actually super excited. I mean, last year we had Ingram, which I was excited about that too, but this one...
Tati, I'm going to let you finish, but the Chargers are about to make a pick. Okay. Hold on 1 second.
With
the 17th pick, the Chargers have selected, finally, Derwin James out of Florida State. Guys, we're going to watch the highlight package, and, well, I think we're sending it to Jimmy after that, so let's see it.
Derwin James, safety, Florida State. A standout since he stepped onto campus, Derwin James is a versatile player, as you will find in the draft. Much like former Seminole and current Jaguar standout Jalen Ramsey, he offers elite physical abilities with a strong alpha mentality. While he appears to be slow on reads, he can make up for that with incredible feel and instincts.
Not even 10.
All right, with the 17th overall pick, the Los Angeles Chargers select Derwin James, the safety out of Florida State. Look, a lot of people are picking the Chargers to be the surprise team next year. I think they were 9-7 last year, lost 4 games by a field goal. Man, there wasn't a lot of weaknesses on this team. Safety was one of them, and now they get possibly the first or second best safety in the class.
They had a lap, and the gift that they wanted came right to them.
Yep.
It's Christmas morning for the Los Angeles Chargers, and need to make sure I don't say San Diego. But yes, I agree. Safety was one of their big weaknesses. I think he reminds me of a guy like Cam Chancellor. That's who my guy comparison is, and I see him kind of like, Gus Bradley is the defensive coordinator in LA right now, and he was the defensive coordinator originally in Seattle when they were on their way to winning Super Bowls. So I think it's a great pick for LA.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick too.
I mean, I think the LA Chargers right now, they got to be jumping up and down, right?
Yeah.
Because who expected Derwin James, out of all people, to be dropped down to 17? Why? I don't know. Maybe it's a character issue. I don't know. But he's an extreme versatile weapon. He's a guy who wants to hunt for the hits. Usually safeties, they want to stay back in coverage. But this guy wants to look for hits. And I think the LA Chargers, really nailed this pick here. They won the draft. I think they stole the draft.
Yeah, they got a day 1 starter.
Long way from home for Derwin.
Yeah, still nice weather though.
Across the country. This fell into the Chargers' lap. They could not pass up on Derwin. I don't think they expected Derwin to be there by 17. I sure didn't expect him to be there. Their secondary was weak last year. They lost a lot of close games due to kicking, which they'll address later in the draft. But I think that their biggest need outside of kicking was their secondary.
Yeah, and they have good corners too. I think it was that safety in particular, and Derwin James literally fell to them.
I don't think this is a Cinderella story right now for them.
That secondary is going to be scary moving forward.
We all agree, great pick. All right, we're going to send it back to Meech.
All right, so the Seattle Seahawks have moved back 7 spots in a trade with the Green Bay Packers, who also shipped a 3rd and a 6th round pick. So, guys, who do you guys think Green Bay is trading up for? Does anyone have any strong opinions?
Not sure. I'm trying to think of needs for the Packers at the moment. Maybe offensive
lineman, maybe. I hope not Will Hernandez, because that's who I want the Jags to take.
I was going to say, I think they're either going to get a wide receiver, maybe Sutton, or a corner, Josh Jackson. They got Kevin King last year, but they need more. I mean, he's not going to grow into a superstar
Jackson
in a
and
day.
Kevin King, former teammates there in Iowa.
That wouldn't be a bad pick at all, but maybe Connor Williams, the tackle out of Texas. Help secure that.
They could use some offensive line help for sure. CD, any? I know you don't like the Packers, considering the Lions.
Again, same thing with the Colts. Don't care what they do at all, but
you just hope he's bad.
Yeah, like awful. I've seen like Jerry Alexander. Yeah, Alexander out of Louisville. Tease to them. They've never been great with corners. They've had like small stints in Packer.
And they just shipped off Demarius Randall to Cleveland after picking him in the 1st round, not even a couple of years ago.
So it wouldn't shock me, but we still going to toast them in the secondary.
That's what you pay Matthew Stafford all that money for.
Exactly. Goodness gracious.
Tati, any opinions here on the Packers?
Well, I didn't get to get my opinion out on the Giants yet.
Finish that. Let's hear that, actually.
I was like, that's definitely what's been on my mind. But yeah, I'm super excited to have Saquon. I definitely think that he's going to be part of that offensive push that we need. He's going to help the O-line. He's going to help out the receivers, too, because we all know he can catch very good football. And his speed is really going to help out as far as, moving the ball, because it's not moving too
Lord
well
knows y'all need that help.
Is he going to throw it, too, though?
Ooh, hot take.
I mean, why would
that was a very that was some Eli Manning slander. I don't know if you were able to watch. We slandered Eli Manning for about 13 minutes.
Yeah, we really did.
Nope, I did not watch that, and I don't plan on it.
You don't care. You don't care for any Eli slander.
No Eli slander will be tolerated. Honestly, it's so unnecessary because Eli and Odell are gonna ball out this season. Everyone's gonna be shocked.
You're not worried about Odell coming off a major injury?
No. I'm not worried about it because I know his work ethic, and I know that he's going to.
You're not worried about. You're not worried about Eli Manning being Eli Manning.
I mean, Eli Manning is Eli Manning because of our offensive line not helping him. So at the end of the day, he will rise to the occasion once he gets that help.
I hope he proves us wrong.
All right, so the Packers are on the board. I keep pitching this for every team that trades up. Do you think there's a chance it's Lamar Jackson here? Anybody?
No. Are we just about to start?
I mean, I guess they just traded for Deshaun Kaiser and that Demarius Randall trade that we talked about earlier. So potentially they already have their backup quarterback that they think they could develop into the quarterback of the
That's a
future.
weird
So
trade.
it's not weird considering what they get, I guess. There's still a lot of defensive players left on the board. Maybe they go Harold Landry here to bolster the pass rush a little bit, get after guys like Mitch Trubisky and Matt Stafford. Or, I mean, they do need help in that secondary for sure, though. That's been a problem for the Packers for a couple of years. But, I mean, I could see it also being a receiver. Which receivers, if you guys had to pick one, which one are you taking first in this draft? There's still Calvin Ridley, Courtland Sutton, and DJ Moore on the board.
If I was the Packers, I would go for Sutton, a more possession-type receiver. You just lost Jordy Nelson, and you still got Devontae Adams, who's a shifty route runner. So I would say more like a possession, big-body receiver like Courtland Sutton.
Yeah, I agree. But what about you, Armand?
As I said before, Courtland Sutton, I mean, the dude, he's a possession receiver. And
he's big, man.
He just pushes everybody off. I mean, he does what he wants when he has the ball in his hands.
I'm going to speak for myself and John Shipley here and say that I hope that the Packers traded up to take Hayden Hurst so that the Jaguars can't do it. CD, what about which receiver, if you had to pick one, do you think you would take here if you were the Packers? Quick.
You have to say Sutton, but if you look at Aaron Rodgers, he likes his back shoulder throws. He likes things up the seam of the sideline, post routes, and you want a route runner, you want a possession guy, and I think Sutton's big enough too to work some of that same stuff.
Let's see who it is here. With the 18th selection in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers selected Jair Alexander, the cornerback out of Louisville. So let's roll his highlights.
I like Josh Jackson better.
Jair Alexander, cornerback, Louisville. Alexander is extremely physical at the line of scrimmage, which he mixes with excellent footwork and coverage to really disrupt receivers and quarterbacks. There are some tackling concerns and some questions of how often he holds receivers downfield. As we've seen from bigger corners recently, Alexander's upside may be too great to pass upon.
All right, the Packers trade up to the 18th pick to take Jair Alexander, cornerback out of Louisville. I guess it's all a matter of Packers needed a cornerback. The defense, they need position players all over that defense. It depends on where you have a Jair Alexander on your cornerback, top 5 big board. Some people had him second, some people had him fourth. It depends on if you like the bigger body corner. Jarrett, do you like this move?
Yeah, I was saying right before it came out with us that they needed to go corner. I think they traded down because they knew that Alexander would be there, and I think that's who they were set on. Alexander, he's a big he's not as physical, but he's fast, and that's what I like about him. He is a return guy, so he can maybe share with Randall Cobb. I don't know if that's how they plan to use him. 7 picks in his 3 years at Louisville, and I think 18 pass deflections. So.
Yeah. And I mean, it depends on if you like the small, quick corner, which is Jair Alexander is, or you could win Josh Jackson, who's the bigger, stronger guy. Anthony?
Here's the thing. I like Jair Alexander as a player. I think the Packers could have gotten him a little later. I don't know why they had to trade up, 9 spots in order to get Jair Alexander.
I think they're scared of Seattle.
Yep.
Maybe that could be possible.
I think Seattle's going with Josh Jackson.
I mean, I'm more of a bigger fan of taller corners. So I mean, the fact that he's at 5'10", I mean, I think it's a good pick, but I think it could have waited and could have saved those picks and waited until 27.
One of the corners that raised his stock the most though was Jair Alexander.
Yeah, and I like him. I have nothing against him. I just think it could have waited a little bit.
There's analysts that said he has the Deion Sanders mentality, and you can't coach that.
That's a
mentality. The mentality, not the skill set. That's a big compliment.
That's a big compliment.
Still big.
Pretty much of a hot take as well, in my opinion.
I think the corner and safety depth, the defensive back depth, especially in this late first round, is extremely deep. You have Derwin James just went. You had, after Minka and Denzel Ward went, then you started seeing, more of these guys. Derwin James went to L.A. Now you have Jair Alexander now with the Green Bay Packers. There's still guys like Josh Jackson, Mike Hughes, Isaiah Oliver could be seen in this first. We could see up to 5 corners being taken in this first round. And I think, I don't think the Packers went wrong here. I think that this was their biggest need, in my opinion. With all these wide receivers in the NFC North, you had Stephon Diggs in Minnesota. You have Marvin Jones, Golden Tate in Detroit. You have so many different types of receivers as well. So getting a guy like Jair Alexander is going to help them. And I think he's a plug-and-play guy. You can start him week 1, and he can go the season, take that job.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the Packers need help on pretty much every spot on their defense, so they went corner. Again, I think Denzel Ward was the consensus number 1. Whoever, number 2 is kind of up for grabs. I guess the Packers like Jair Alexander.
I thought Josh Jackson would have been the second best.
This might be a hot take, but we're going to see 4 more corners taken this round.
All right.
I can see that.
So name those 4 corners, though.
We're going to go Mike Hughes, Josh Jackson, Dante Jackson, and Isaiah Oliver.
Oh yeah, those last two are pretty
A
hot.
lot of defensive, a lot of really good defensive backs. Those are all really good players.
Real quick, Cowboys are up next. Do they go Calvin Ridley, receiver?
I said Cortland Sutton at the beginning of the broadcast. I'm sticking with that pick. They really like him.
Know what?
I'm surprised Ridley's gone this far, but I think Cortland Sutton is more of a guy that they want.
I know, but I think they were going to go Cortland Sutton because Calvin Ridley wasn't there.
If Calvin Ridley was not on the board, then yes, Cortland Sutton. Now it's gonna be Calvin Ridley. It's gotta be.
Yeah,
It's gotta be. I cannot believe he's still available.
I think he's the best receiver in this class, and I don't think it's close.
I don't like the Cowboys, so I hope it's not Calvin Ridley because I like Calvin Ridley. But you can go for it. I mean, Calvin Ridley, to fit their scheme, they just cut Dez. They need someone. I think they're gonna go young, get a receiver to mold with Dak and Zeke, and really start to build something.
Okay, Cowboys are on the clock. We're going to commercial now. Then we're gonna head back to Meach. Hopefully the pick might be in. We're gonna go to Meach when the pick is in, and they'll preview it.
Do you like sports? Do you like reading about sports? Then we got a sports blog just for you. Stay on my peripherals. That's not fun. Hitting the field. The first student-run sports blog. For sports fans. By sports fans. See, it's all about the product shot.
Where do you want me to stand?
Don't talk though, I want them to see the hole.
Hitting the field.
We cover football. We cover basketball.
And so much more.
He's out! By sports reporters. And Meach.
What up? Watch the show and read the sports blog.
Hitting the field.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
All right, welcome back to the Hitting the Field NFL Draft Show. John Shipley joins us again in the Andre Rodriguez spot. Guys, the Cowboys are now on the clock with the, 18th overall pick? 19th. Good God, I've been one pick behind all night. It feels like it's going to be a receiver here with the loss of Dez Bryant, but I want to get everyone's opinion. What do you guys think? Tati, that's a division rival. How do you feel about the Cowboys, first of all, and where do you think they're going to go with this pick?
Well, they're definitely going to get a receiver, I would think. Them losing Dez, I mean, watching Dez with them, it doesn't really seem as if they really needed him. And I kind of question where Dez thinks that he's going to be a good fit for the rest of his career.
I agree.
I know that I feel like he wants to be on the Giants for sure. He did hint that he wants to get a one-year deal and then extend to an extensive deal. So
I had a tweet today. I hate to bring up my Twitter account on live air, but it's funny. Dez Bryant said he wants to take a prove-it deal, basically. And I'm all for betting on yourself if you're a player, but not if you're as bad as Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
When the Ravens offer you a multi-year deal, you take it when you're that old and you're that bad at football. Like, if someone is offering you money and you are old and bad, take it. It's simple. It's a simple equation.
He's betting on himself, so I mean, like, we're the only team that went out of our way to go and offer him a deal, but he wanted to go bet on himself, like, I want a one-year deal.
I think it's going to work out good for your team that they didn't sign him. CD, what do you expect the Cowboys to do here? The Dez Bryant-less Cowboys, for better or worse.
Jerry Jones is just really bad, man.
That hopefully it means that means he picks Hayden Hurst.
Literally, Ezekiel Elliott was probably the best, luckiest thing.
And he still passed up Jalen Ramsey to make that pick.
He did, which I think long term. Because that offensive line, you could have put any running back back there.
Darren McFadden ran for 1,000 yards behind that offensive line the year before.
Exactly.
You just go to that second round. He took a linebacker with nerve issues in his knee over Miles Jack.
Didn't they take
Jalen Smith?
What about Randy Gregory?
No,
How'd that work out for you?
I was high on Randy Gregory, so
yeah,
let's not talk about that.
I thought Randy Gregory was
Justin Blackman.
No, but I think
he's still a beast, though.
I think what John said is very important to take into consideration. They took Ezekiel Elliott one pick before Jalen Ramsey, and then they took Jalen Smith a couple of picks before Miles Jack in the same draft. And those are two of the, I would say,
two cornerstones.
Two of the cornerstones of, what was it, the the best defense in the league last year, arguably.
Well, actually, then that makes freaking Jerry Jones a genius then, because he put the Jags in perfect position to succeed.
I mean, with Jalen Smith and Miles Jack, they both have bad
He's going to
knees,
take
so it's
Hayden
like-
Hurst.
Yeah, neither one's missing an NFL game yet.
He's got to take Hayden Hurst at
So
this
they're
point,
both
right?
playing well, so.
Yeah, the only reason Miles didn't play very much that rookie year is because Gus Bradley's an
Gus Bradley
idiot.
stinks, yeah. Well, prayers up for Derwin James, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's
Why
what
are
a,
there so many people on stage with this?
well, because the Cowboys, it's the hometown team,
this
so
is,
they're
this is
yeah.
at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah. So, oh wow! Breaking news: the Steelers have traded Martavis Bryant to the Raiders for the 75th overall pick.
So, do you want to send it back to Jimmy now, or
no? We'll get his reaction after this pick by the Cowboys. That's crazy.
Bro, that's like nothing.
The Jags should have done
Why
that.
did we not do that?
You said for 75th pick?
Yeah, I believe that would be in the third round.
That was third round, man.
Tail end of the third round or middle of
It's
the
like
third round?
beginning of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wow, that's a pretty shocking trade there.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, the Raiders.
That's
have,
a good move for
The
them.
Raiders have added a bunch of very old and not good receivers in this offseason. So to add a young,
legitimately good player,
young and good receiver,
as long as he stays off the drugs, he'll be good.
Some would say that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys with this pick have selected Leighton Vander Esch because they are not good. So let's hold on. We got to be quiet so they can roll the clip, guys.
Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker, Boise State. After only 1 year as a starter for the Broncos, Vander Esch entered the draft after a successful redshirt junior year. He is still filling out his frame and needs to get stronger, but is a coverage linebacker with good size and athleticism that implies he could also become a plus player when rushing the quarterback.
So, reporting the news real quick. Dallas Cowboys with the 19th overall pick took linebacker Leighton Vander Esch. And the Steelers, traded Martavis Bryant to the Oakland Raiders. Again,
How you feel about that?
breaking news.
How do you feel about that, Jimmy?
It hurts. Juju, well, first of all, Juju outplayed him in every aspect of being a wide receiver last year. So
Agreed.
he was not going to be the number 2 heading into this year. He's on a 1-year deal, get a 3rd-round pick. I would have liked a 2nd-round pick, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I don't really want to see him go to an AFC team. I think the Oakland Raiders are going to compete this year. I think they're going to be good. Martavis Bryant gives them Jordy Nelson, Amari Cooper, and Martavis Bryant, which is I'm not too happy about that.
That's a good little group right there.
But yeah, I guess we'll see who we take with that 75th overall pick, and then who knows what that means for later on in the draft. Calvin Ridley's still out there, hopefully. But now back to the Cowboys. Leighton Vander Esch is off the board. Me personally, I like Rashaan Evans more.
Fulfills a need for sure, and also the best name in the draft, Leighton Vander Esch. That's what they're gonna do in Dallas right now. I didn't get to see the crowd's reaction to the pick because this is the hometown pick for Dallas, but it was wide receiver or linebacker, and I think that they didn't feel super strong about wide receiver. I say Cortland Sutton, and apparently they don't like Cortland Sutton enough to take him out 19. Apparently Leighton Vander Esch though is. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I would have traded back for Leighton Vander Esch because I do think that he wasn't as coveted right now. I think maybe they thought the Lions might have taken him, but the Lions also did take Jarrad Davis in last year's draft at their 1st-round pick. So I don't know. Like you said, Rashaan Evans, back and forth between him and Vander Esch. I prefer Vander Esch. I think it's a decent pick for them, but I don't know. I would have gone Cortland Sutton. I think he would have been really good for them.
I think there were better players at positions of need for Dallas. Anthony.
Yeah. I need an Esch after this. For God's sake. For God's sake. Look, I'm not a big fan of Cowboys, as you all know, obviously.
Yeah.
So, I like Vander Esch, but I don't think that was the right pick for the Cowboys. I think if they were going to go linebacker, they should have gone with Rashaan Evans, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, the linebacker out of Alabama, with the success that they've had in the NFL, I don't know.
Good for me, though. I don't care.
Yeah, and I think Calvin Ridley would have also been a better pick.
With Vander Esch, I think this was like a need pick instead of a want pick. They needed a linebacker.
Rashad Evans.
They could've
I
gone
wish
with
they could.
Rashad Evans, though,
Rashad Evans,
Armand. Yeah.
But they probably saw something in his kid, Leighton
They
Vander
probably
Esch.
did. There's nothing wrong with him. I like him as a player.
Didn't he go to Dallas for an interview with them, meet
Yes,
with the
he
team?
did. Yeah, he
So
did.
they had a little talk, and they probably said, "Oh, we like this kid. You know, this is definite."
He's definitely
draft
going to
pick."
replace Sean Lee.
I think this is.
we all agree on that.
I think we have a theme though in this first round where teams are not necessarily taking the sexy picks. Like Derwin James has fallen. Calvin Ridley was the sexy pick. He's fallen. Lamar Jackson is still on this board. I know a lot of teams, a lot of fans really want Lamar Jackson to get drafted in this first round, but teams are done their homework and they're not necessarily doing what the fans want. They're doing what they feel is best for them. They're not listening to outside noise.
I think teams are going by their conviction. They're not looking at the fans. They're looking at what we really feel. They're locked in on what they really want.
Yep.
That's what they're. That's what
Cowboys
they're
have done
doing.
that the last few drafts.
They're trying to be America's team again.
Okay.
I guess.
Trying. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not
With
going to
one of the
happen.
most interesting picks, I think, this year in the draft, you don't really know, out of all the mock drafts, different player on every single mock draft, the Detroit Lions are next to 20.
Interesting.
Armand, who do they go with?
Oh, wow. Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they have a lot of different positions, and it's they could go a lot of different ways.
They could go either way.
Yeah.
I think they get a tight end or a linebacker.
Okay. So Anthony, you think they go offense or defense, and then
I mean,
if you have
this
a
could
player
be it could be very interesting. Maybe a little bit of a hot take. Maybe Darius Geis here out of LSU could be a possibility.
That's a
because
possibility. I really like Darius Geis, and I
backs,
think if
running backs.
Saquon Barkley wasn't in this class, Darius Geis would be a
he
top
would have
15
easily
pick.
been a top 15 pick as well. Yeah.
I got to piggyback off of my boy Ant right here. Darius Geis, I think he hasn't gotten as much attention because Saquon Barkley is here. And Darius Geis should be a first-round pick. He is good enough to be in the conversation for the number one guy. I think that he would make sense in Detroit, but going with the theme of we're going to do our business, take our pick, not take the sexy pick, I think it's going to be a linebacker.
Yeah, I personally agree that Darius Geis wouldn't be a reach at 20, and I think that's who they should go with. All right, we're going to send it back to Meech.
Their pick is in. Gut feeling, who are they going to take?
They better take Harold Landry or else I'm going to be very upset. Okay, anybody but Hayden Hurst is the consensus.
I feel like we all agree on that for all of our teams. Anybody but Hayden Hurst,
we
please.
need a pass catching receiver, tight end, because we have freaking Wilson and we got it from
Gesicki
Seahawks.
wouldn't be bad.
He wouldn't, but I don't want him at 20. But I don't want them to start thinking tight end and they're like, oh, Hayden Hurst. Like, no.
Oh, God, I hope they pick Hayden Hurst just so the Jags can't do it. Just so the Jags can't do it.
They pick Hayden Hurst. I'm getting ignorant.
Might as well. Before the commissioner comes out, we have a comment on Facebook from Kyle Graham's father, Jerry Graham, who says, I guess I am anti-Zach, LOL. I feel like I like the Bills picks. Allen was compared to Jim Kelly, and that's good enough for him. So, Zach, you have an enemy in Kyle's dad. So, trouble in the Orlando Bills Mafia? Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z. But with the Lions pick, I believe this is 20th overall. The Detroit Lions, CD's Detroit Lions, have selected Frank Ragnow, the first prospect whose highlights we do not have cut here on Hitting the Field. So I'm going to talk right through him. That's good. That's good. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. It's all right, CD. You still have the Jags.
Hey, you got two teams. You got second pick. You're good, bro.
But if they take Hayden Hurst, do you understand how depressing that is?
Yeah, that'd be very bad.
So Frank Ragnow, the pick for the Lions, he shot up draft boards, it feels like, this last week and a half. Absolute unit. Like, he is huge. I mean, it's not a terrible pick, CD. It could be worse, man. They could have picked Hayden Hurst.
Yeah.
Like I said, we only had like a small amount of time to have the offensive line together. Most of our offensive line was depleted, so we don't even know. We could already be set.
Wasn't it not even like 2 years ago when the Lions spent 2 first-round picks on offensive guards?
I feel like all they've done lately is draft offensive linemen.
Well,
eventually you have to be right.
We go through these like moments where
Taylor
we draft
Decker
a bunch
was a
of
good pick.
receivers, draft a bunch of offensive linemen. Our defense is actually, like, for the first time in a long time, like, good. Like, secondary, we got good secondary. We need to work on our linebacking core. We need to get, like, a replacement for Aloy Nada. But it's, like, good enough to stay afloat. And, like, but it's like, all right, now offense, it's like, all right, we're starting to kind of go backwards a little bit.
All right, with that, we are going to send it over to Jimmy Calhoun for their perspective on the Frank Ragnow pick by the Detroit Lions. Jimmy, take it away for us, buddy.
Man, this draft just keeps giving us surprise after surprise after surprise. I don't think any of us predicted that the Lions would go with Frank Ragnow. He is the best center, I believe, in this class.
He's been going up draft boards a lot in the last month. You know, back when we started this little baby we call the draft show, we were thinking of 58 players or something like that of people that we could cut highlights for. And Frank Ragnow was not on that list. And today, you know, we had these conversations with Meech and the rest of the crew. We were like, should we go get highlights for Frank Ragnow? And I asked Meech today, I'm like, Meech, should we get Frank Ragnow highlights? And he's like, no, but watch, because we're not going to do it. He's going to get picked in the first round.
Yep.
And here we are.
That's how that works, Anthony.
I mean, the fact that he got picked 20th, really? I mean, who expected that? Who expected that? And then I just want to say, CD, I apologize that happened, but, you know, that's what happens.
Yeah, I just think the Lions could have gone with many other different players' position of need.
I'll just say, CD sleeping in the bed of tears tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
It's just funny he decided, because he's got 2 teams, and we all make fun of him for that, he decided to wear the Lions jersey for good luck. And that's what they do to him.
He might have a Jaguars jersey under. You don't know.
I think it's a hoodie. Jaguars hoodie.
That could be a possibility.
I'm going to take a different opinion from everyone here in the studio. I actually really like this pick. I think that this is a need for the Lions. This is the best player in the draft. He's climbing up at his position, and he's a guy that you can plug and play. He's a guy that you can start right away week 1, and I think it's a really solid pick for them. I'm really happy. Not necessarily for CD, he's a little upset over there, but I think you're all right, CD. And in a couple weeks from now, in a couple months from now, you'll be eating your words.
Kind of reminds me of when the Detroit Pistons took Luke Kennard over Donovan Mitchell. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I was sitting right next to Chris. I told him the whole night that the Pistons were going to go Luke Kennard, and he wouldn't believe me. And then they took Luke Kennard over Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Good Jesus.
And I think another reason Detroit took Frank Ragnow because Cincinnati was going to take him with the next pick. Cincinnati
that could be possible. Yeah.
Cincinnati needs help on the offensive line.
They do.
I think Isaiah Wynn here makes a lot of sense.
Hunter Williams as well.
So you guys still think that they go offensive line with this pick?
Hunter Williams as well could be
I really like Isaiah Wynn.
I think we're going to see a lot of offensive line.
What about Will Hernandez off the board yet? He's still
on
the board. He could be
the Ravens are at 22. He could go there.
And I think the thing with Will Hernandez is he's one of the best run blockers in this class, and I think a team
huge fan of Will
I think
Hernandez,
Carolina could be a play for him.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Replacement for Norwell.
Yeah,
they lost him to the Jaguars.
All right. So Cincinnati, you believe is going to take the offensive lineman. Which offensive lineman do you think?
I think Isaiah Wynn makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Connor Williams, a backup. I think now it's not necessarily about, okay, who we think we're take. We went to the first 10 picks. We were like, oh, it's going to be Josh Allen to the Bills. It's going to be Bradley Chubb.
I'm not saying you guys are going to
be right. I mean, I think that this is now where it could be whatever. I think the middle picks were whatever. I think we're going to start seeing a little more predictable picks.
All right, well, they're about to announce their pick. Roger Goodell is up. Let's see if Cincinnati fans are waiting to react. They're cheering.
Billy Price.
So, Cincinnati goes Billy Price. Another highlight we don't have cut. He's a center, of course. So, like I said, I think they were going to go Frank Ragnow with that 20th pick.
Yeah,
Detroit took him right out from under him. And then Billy Price, the second best center in this class, goes to Cincinnati. You almost have to feel for the Bengals at this point, Armand.
Oh, man. The NFL just messed up our plans tonight.
Yeah.
We don't have the highlight for that. We don't.
I'm telling you, none of these offensive linemen were in mock drafts 3 weeks ago.
So, yeah, they needed an offensive lineman for sure.
I think the Bengals were a little shook.
They are a little shook.
They're a little shook. I mean, I didn't think they realized that would happen.
I'm surprised I'm surprised Will Hernandez is still on this board.
I know.
I think maybe the fact that he went to UTEP might be hurting his stock a little bit. But the fact that he's from Ohio State, I like the pick.
Yep. I just feel bad for Cincinnati because you know this isn't the player they wanted. And you always have to feel bad for teams like that.
You feel bad for the Bengals, really?
No, actually, you're right. I don't feel bad for the Bengals. All right. Okay. We're gonna go commercial right now. The 21st pick is, I think they're on the clock.
It's the Ravens.
Yeah, the 22nd pick, the Ravens.
Ooh.
I don't really care about the Ravens. All right, let's send it to break.
This production is sponsored by. Wait, what is that drug called again? Whatever. Just roll the clip. Do you ever have crippling depression due to colleges gouging you for all of your money? Or just blatant anxiety attacks all the time when you can't get into the classes you need to? Well, then we have a drug for you. Introducing radiotelemumbab. Who invented that? Side effects include, but are not limited to, violent diarrhea, even worse panic attacks, death, more depression, feelings of desperation and hopelessness, loss of fertility in males, full loss of control of your body, and honestly, just more death. In some cases, people have reported a full change in sexual orientation. But don't let the Westboro Baptist Church find that out. This drug was created by a classroom full of idiots. They got a C on the project, but we got a sellable drug. So if you're feeling depressed and a little bit risky, why not try it? What else do you have to lose, right? Talk to your doctor to find out more about that.
You're supposed to drink alcohol with that.
Well, I already drank it, so what?
America's got a big problem. Losing your keys. Hi, I'm Locksmith, and I'm here to serve your car problems. Locked your keys out of your car? We gotcha. Lost your keys? I'll go and find them. Our newly trained convicts can break into any car. This Papa John's car will get that pizza for you. Punch buggy, punch yeah! Yellow cars, black cars, boats! Don't forget about boats, guys! We got boats! This car, yes you? Yeah you! We can break into your car any day, any time! Should get some more business because of this. Sir, whoa, sir, do you need help? Sir, are your keys locked in your car? Move aside, sir, I'm an expert. Ah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hitting the Field Draft Show. There has been another trade call. Your Ravens just don't seem to want to pick tonight, buddy.
We're stacking up on picks. That's I can't ask for more, I guess.
Yeah, so the Titans got picks 22 and 215, which I believe is a 7th round pick, for picks 25 and 125. So they swapped, it looks like, a 5th for a 7th rounder to move up the 3 spots. So not a bad move for the Ravens, who keep stacking up pretty quality picks, I would say. John, are the Titans the team you hate the most in the division?
I hate all 3 of them equally.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty equal.
I feel like I have a really, I just hate the Titans. Something about them.
No, it's completely equal. Yeah.
CD, what about you? Feel the same way?
No, I got a personal vendetta against the Colts. I really hated Edgerrin James. Marvin Harrison really made me mad every day.
You can't say his name. You can't say his name.
That's right.
Harvin Marison.
Yeah. Reggie Wayne. Dallas Clark definitely made me mad.
You didn't even mention the worst of all of them.
Robert Mathis.
Peyton Manning. Oh, of course. Big forehead, mega mind over there.
I can't wait for the day where we get to the discussion that Drew Brees is better than Peyton Manning.
No. I don't think it's a discussion. I think it's pretty... should be pretty wide.
And this is coming from a Jags fan, but Peyton Manning's the most overrated quarterback to ever play football. I'm sorry. Eddie, chill out. I see you squirming over here. It's all right, buddy.
Say all that, Meech.
Where do you guys think the Titans are going here? Eddie, you think they're going to get another receiver for Mariota?
Yeah, I mean, you still got all these receivers on the board. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they went with a guy like Calvin Ridley. Still some decent linebackers on the board that they can maybe go with, but I'd like to see him go receiver.
Yeah. What about you, Carl?
Maybe potentially another receiver. Now that I don't think they're gonna.
I could see him go Taven Bryan maybe from Florida. They do need some interior defensive line help.
I like Corey Davis a lot though.
Yeah, I guess we're about to find out.
Good,
That's true.
He's a Davis though.
With the 22nd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, that's actually a pretty good tight. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good pick. The Titans have selected Rashaan Evans, the inside linebacker,
solid pick
out of Alabama. Jimmy, I know that hurts you personally because you had a soft spot for him for your Steelers. So let's run his highlights and send it over to Jimmy.
Rashaan Evans, linebacker, Alabama. The latest in the Alabama first-round linebacker pipeline, Evans offers what most of his predecessors did as well: experience in a complex system that relies heavily on the knowledge of linebackers. Evans brings serious athletic ability to the position, but can definitely learn to trust his ability more to make splash plays.
All right, the Tennessee Titans move up to 22 to take linebacker Rashaan Evans out of Alabama. Meet you right, this does hurt me personally. I was hoping he'd slip to 28. I'll get to that in a second. I'm joined by Mark Tavilla, Jacob Boring, and Ben Sanders. I got all different questions to ask you guys. First of all, Mark, Rashaan Evans at 22 to Tennessee, how do you like the fit?
You know what, Rashaan Evans, you know, he's a great player. You know, he's got great morale, you know, good heart. Overall, just great person. I think he's going to be able to be a good fit for the Titans, and shows how much I know.
Yeah, I think he's the second best inside linebacker in the class behind Roquan Smith, and you just got to trust Alabama linebackers. Our resident Chiefs fan, this was originally the Chiefs pick at 22. What are your feelings that you maybe could have had?
I mean, it would definitely be beneficial to the Chiefs. Definitely because after we watched that terrible playoff game, and kind of watched the defense of the Titans just continue to thrash us after we thought we had a chance. So this is definitely a benefit for them. The Chiefs, though, I think, you know, they're missing out, and there's a lot of opportunities that they're missing out just by missing out in the first round entirely. So.
All right, yeah. Do you think Patrick Mahomes is gonna, you know, kind of make you a little bit more happy this upcoming season?
Let's hope so. I mean, I know we were talking about Alex Smith being the most average quarterback in the NFL, and I could agree with that wholeheartedly. Maybe even less than average. So, you know, I hope that Patrick Mahomes' era will take off and improve. I don't think we have a whole lot to do with the offensive talent. Definitely our O-line and our defense needs rebuilding because Bob Sutton, for being a genius as he is, he doesn't really have anybody left. He's kind of got Justin Houston, who's getting towards the end of his contract, and if anybody could stay healthy.
I just think that Chiefs offense is going to be fun to watch next year. Patrick Mahomes is known for just throwing the ball deep. You got Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, and Travis Kelce with Kareem Hunt.
Now that you got a guy who can throw the ball further than 20 yards, more than 20% average.
So we'll see what Tyreek Hill does this year.
Might be able to catch the ball. So.
All right, Rashaan Evans, how do you like him as a player?
I like him a lot. The only thing that I worried about with him, a nagging groin injury. Nagging groin injuries at 21 are only going to get worse because there's so much rehab you can do, and it's still going to be a problem. So durability is my one thing with Rashaan Evans. I know the Alabama toughness, the grit's going to really, really help them out. I did think they were going to go Calvin Ridley. I did think they were going to need, you know, a player that Marcus Mariota could throw to, just an extra weapon. But I'm not going to complain taking Rashaan Evans 22. I feel like it's a steal.
Yeah, I think it's a steal too. All right, Patriots are up next, Mark, with the 23rd pick. And guess who's still on the board?
Mike Hughes.
I was going to say Lamar Jackson.
Well, Lamar Jackson as well, yes. But I don't know. To be honest, I'm looking for a little bit of secondary action in the Patriots because, I mean, after we lost Butler to the Titans, you know, there's a lot of spaces that we need to fill.
But you'll have the 31 pick as well, so.
Yeah, true.
I just think the Patriots are one of those teams that's really weird. They might be favorites to win the AFC next year, but they have a lot of holes that they can fill in this draft.
It's whatever. Honestly, at this point, just from years of watching, it's just you kind of got to trust in Bill. At this point, you never know what's going to happen, and no matter what anybody else says in the league, it just.
They traded up for a reason, didn't they?
Do you have a player in mind then to take right here?
I mean, I have like this emotional attachment to Mike Hughes, to be honest. But you know, I also would love to see someone be able to kind of develop themselves behind Brady. You know, after the whole Jimmy trade, it's been a bit of a
Lamar Jackson.
It's been a bit of a question. Yeah, no, I would love to see Lamar on our team. Be the first African American quarterback in a long time for the Patriots, if not the first, actually. So
I need to history check that. All right, Jacob, who would you like to see the Patriots take?
I definitely think that's awesome. You think about Mike Hughes. I kind of hope that maybe the Chiefs will keep him just because, you know, or just get to him. Hopefully, just because we need a backup safety there to Eric Berry. But I kind of agree with you there. But Lamar Jackson, I think, might be ideal. They do love to get great talent for their backup, and they always seem to go somewhere else, like Matt Castle. Came to the Chiefs. But, you know, it seems like there are people who are always promising go to the Patriots because they want to be behind Tom Brady. And you learn a lot from playing behind Tom Brady and under Bill Belichick.
It's all about learning the system. It's all about becoming a part of the team. It's just you have to learn the Belichick way and everything. You can't just go over to any same team learning the same stuff they did with the Patriots. It's a whole kind of different mind, aspect, everything.
All right, Ben, real quick. Anyone in mind?
I think Lamar Jackson goes. I think he's going to take like a 1 or 2 year internship behind Brady, and then they're going to figure out if he's good enough, or they'll get moved off to a team that thinks he is good enough. I think that 2 years learning under Brady and Belichick, if Brady's got that many left, is just a good deal for Lamar, and it's going to help him develop as a player.
And I think that'll be really interesting. Lamar Jackson, the Patriot system, a lot of storylines there. All right, let's send it back over to Meech.
All right, thanks, Jimmy and guys all over there. The Patriots are now on the clock, guys. Got about 2.5 minutes until their selection is due. They lost Nate Solder to the Giants in the offseason. They lost Malcolm Butler after inexplicably not playing him in the Super Bowl. Where do you guys think that New England goes here, Carl?
I could possibly see, Bill Belichick being interested in Lamar Jackson, have him sit under Brady to be the new face of the franchise whenever Brady's done playing. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Lamar or Harold Landry, and that seems like the perfect, real situation for the Patriots, and aligns perfectly with their needs.
The Patriots getting Harold Landry would be so frustrating. It's like when the Spurs got DeJounte Murray or Kyle Anderson, and people were like, "How did these guys fall to the Spurs?" And you're letting the best pass rusher in the draft, in my opinion, fall to the Patriots all the way at 23. Eddie, I know you've seen the Patriots whoop your team more than most people up here.
Numerous times.
What do you think they're going to do here?
I kind of agree with what everyone's been saying about Lamar Jackson. I could easily see Lamar Jackson being the guy that they go to, but they could also go corner. You got guys Mike Hughes and Josh Jackson still on the board. But, I mean, in the end, it's the Patriots, and I think anyone they put in the position there, whoever they put in there is going to win them games. So it's kind of
so frustrating, isn't it? CD, what do you got?
I think Harold Landry, James Harrison was their best pass rusher in the Super Bowl. So
that's true. That's a very underrated point that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And James Harrison's a legitimately bad player last year. So
getting old.
All he's good for now is lifting obscene amounts of weight for no apparent purpose or reason, because it didn't make him better at football.
He's single-handedly keeping the PED industry alive.
That's fair. What
is playing volleyball with a freaking medicine ball, bro? That's ridiculous. That's a little bit much.
That's a freak of nature, man.
So, guys, it's getting to the point of the night where our teams, the successful teams in the league,
the good teams, the playoff teams, that we often are. I'm used to picking this late.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel weird. So the Patriots selection is in. Evan, if you could get out of the way of the television.
Hayden Hurst.
The Patriots, with the 23rd selection in the 2018 NFL Draft, have selected, please God, let it be Hayden Hurst, Isaiah Wynn, guard out of Georgia, which means our Will Hernandez to Jacksonville vibes is still alive. Let's roll those Isaiah Wynn highlights.
Isaiah Wynn, offensive guard, Georgia. He played tackle in college, but his lack of length makes Wynn project as a guard at the next level. At guard though, his upside is promising, especially given his movement skills for someone his size. It's not tough to imagine him pulling around and paving the way for running backs for years to come.
All right, the Patriots take Isaiah Wynn, offensive lineman out of Georgia, with their first pick in the draft at 23. So instead of getting Brady's backup, they get someone to help protect Brady.
Honestly, I do think it's a good pick, because I think that's definitely after Solder leaving. It's been kind of just all up in the air for our line in general. We got pieces like Marcus Cannon, and you got pieces in new people like Tooney. You have who's still young, but he's still impressionable. But for the most part, our line is really important right now, especially because Brady not being a very tradable aspect right now, but still being as good as he is because of how old he is, he needs all the protection he can get.
For sure.
And so this is actually, I think, a very, very good
I don't think the Patriots can start getting cheap with their offensive line. This is not the time in Brady's career to do that. Jacob.
I definitely agree. I think it's a great decision just because you need that protection. And I don't like to watch the Patriots. I mean, I don't think a lot of people do. Besides Mark.
I mean, the Chiefs like beating up on them.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to make that point.
We didn't really see him in the playoffs after that, didn't we?
That's true. Can't see chokes. Let's be honest. But no, I mean, when I do watch you guys play the Chiefs, and we've had some success with you guys over you guys in the regular season, there's not a lot of protection on Brady the last couple of years, and so I definitely, good for you guys. I think that's definitely going to be beneficial, even though it kind of seems minor.
Honestly, right, Ben, what do you think? Mark, you can go. Ben, what do you think about them getting some protection for Brady instead of a backup for Brady?
It's a safe pick, but it's also a Patriots pick. They'd like structure and regimen and stuff like that. They've got a system that works and has been working for a very long time, and a lot of that reason is because Tom Brady's protected very, very well. But could they have gone more out more with a pick. Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson would have maybe been a pick, but they've got another one coming up at 7 or 8. But Isaiah, when you can't complain about it. Like, if I'm Tom Brady or any quarterback for that team, I'm happy with that sort of pick. Someone who can protect and someone that can move laterally very well.
Yeah, I think there might have been a better player for the Patriots to take at this point, but you can't knock them for getting protection for Brady.
The thing is, what I still like about this, though, is that it is a Patriots pick and it's pretty safe. But what another thing that I liked about later in this draft is how many good pieces there are in teams that you don't really get to see. Like, I became a really big fan of Kyle Lauletta, to be honest, after watching the Senior Bowl, and I know that's really, really the best impression he's had on everyone in the league in general with his skill assets and everything. But for the most part, a lot of people were comparing him to Jimmy G. So I'm still really excited. I still think that we can get a great pick in a quarterback.
All right, Carolina's on the clock at 24. I'm sorry, Meech, but I think this is where Will Hernandez goes off the board. But we'll send it to you and preview Carolina's pick.
Yeah, it would make sense, Jimmy, that the Panthers would take Will Hernandez since the best guard in football decided to leave them and sign with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know what I'm saying? That being said, it's becoming more and more like the Jags are going to end up with someone that me, John, and Chris would not like them to see.
Hayden Hurst?
Guys.
He's going to the Ravens.
Chill, bro.
We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Panthers. Stay with us because we still got a couple more picks.
Do you like sports? Do you like reading about sports? Then we got a sports blog just for you. Stay on my peripherals. That's not fun. Hitting the field.
The first student-run sports blog.
For sports fans.
By sports fans.
See, it's all about the product shot.
Where do you want me to stand?
Don't talk though. I want them to see the whole.
Hitting the field. We cover football. We cover basketball. And so much more.
He's out. By sports reporters. And Meech.
What up? Watch the show and read the sports blog. Hitting the field.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Welcome back to, what is this now? Hour 4. We're heading into Hour 4 of the 2018 NFL Draft Hitting the Field special. Tatiana Smallwood and Andre Rodriguez join me back here on the desk. Guys, the Panthers are on the clock. Their pick is in. Who are they picking? Tati, what do you think?
Honestly, I don't know, but we will find out in about a couple seconds.
Fair enough. Andre, you have any bold takes for this pick here?
No. I'll find out when I can see the TV.
All right, with this pick, the 24th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers have selected Tati. I can't see the pick. DJ Moore, wide receiver out of Maryland. Finally, a wide receiver gets taken in the draft.
First receiver.
That is a
which means we're going to take Calvin next because once one receiver goes, the next receiver goes.
Let's see the highlights here for DJ Moore.
Which I wouldn't be mad at.
DJ Moore, wide receiver, Maryland. Moore is tough for a wide receiver, often finishing blocks on the outside and unafraid to traverse in the middle of the field. His size and speed are his calling card, but like most young wide receivers with such physical gifts, he needs to work on route running, but his ability as a kick returner can make him a game breaker day one.
Right, the Panthers take the first wide receiver off the board, DJ Moore with the 24th pick. This is so wrong in so many ways. First of all, Calvin Ridley's the #1 receiver in this class. It's not even close. Yep. I don't know why Calvin Ridley's still on the board, let alone wasn't the first receiver taken. And this hurts me so much more because now the Ravens, who were at 15, or 16, moved all the way back to 25, are still going to get the player they would have taken at 16.
Or they trade down even further.
Almost makes me sick. Jared, go.
DJ Moore, 27 yards, 17 touchdowns in 3 years. He's productive. No, don't get me wrong. Is he Calvin Ridley? No, but I think what they're looking at a DJ Moore is a bit more physicality, just a tiny bit more physicality.
Look, I think DJ Moore was the second best receiver in this class, but I thought there was a huge gap between 1 and 2. Calvin Ridley can come in and be a number 2 receiver.
I don't think the gap was as big, but I think for the way that for the way the Panthers play, Cam Newton, DJ Moore, I mean, I like it. Would I have liked Ridley a little more? Probably, but I'm going to think there's some locker room stuff that they're looking at too.
I think Carolina needed a big-time receiver here. You would think they would go with Calvin Ridley, not DJ Moore. To me, DJ Moore is more of a slot receiver. They don't need that. They need more of an outside receiver. Calvin Ridley could be that. I like Calvin Ridley compared to like an Alshon Jeffrey type player.
Calvin Ridley by the end of the year might have been Carolina's 1.
Exactly.
They have Devin Funchess right now.
They have Devin Funchess as their number 1. He's not their number. He's not number 1. He's a number 2 Funchess. So Calvin Ridley could have transitioned to number 1. I don't like the pick for
I know this is a simple comparison, but Calvin Ridley just reminds me of Amari Cooper. It's just what he same type of receiver.
Silver lining for pick, DJ Moore's quick, and Cam Newton plays quickly and is athletic. So DJ Moore, decent pick, yeah, it is, but I think Calvin Ridley's a better player overall. I think Calvin Ridley has a higher ceiling to be better. I think DJ Moore's more of a safe pick than more of a like, hey, we can use him a couple of years, we can use him here, we can use him there. Maybe he's a little more versatile than Calvin Ridley, but if I was the Panthers and I want any aspirations of doing better, I would have taken Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
it's gonna suck too because I think at the end of the year, next season, we're gonna be like, oh, DJ Moore is better because DJ Moore is on a team with a better quarterback.
No, I'll get to that in a second. So I think that we can all agree that this was a position of need for the Panthers. They just took their guy, which we might disagree is the wrong guy. Now with the Ravens on the clock, I would be the most shocked, and there's been a lot of shocking developments in this draft. If they don't take Calvin Ridley right here, with Ozzie Newsome loving Alabama players.
This has to be the biggest lock of the draft right here. Is Calvin Ridley.
I thought it was the biggest lock of the draft, him at 16 to the Ravens. Wow. And unfortunately, he's going to go to the Ravens where wide receivers go to die. So that just makes me sad because I really like Calvin Ridley.
And the fact that, the Ravens traded down, so they get all these other picks in return, and then they still get Calvin Ridley.
Anthony, it honestly makes me sick. So I got to send it over to Meech. And,
Carl's already out.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I disagree with all of you guys. I don't think Calvin Ridley's that much better than DJ Moore or even. I don't see it. Like, he's old already. He's 24 for a rookie wide receiver. That's Hayden Hurstian, some would say. I mean, he's a good route runner. Cortland Sutton's a bigger guy. DJ Moore feels more athletic to me. Calvin Ridley's good, but I feel like if you're picking a receiver in the first round anyway, you might as well shoot for the stars. And Calvin Ridley just feels like a safe pick to me. I don't know what your guys' opinion on that is.
Last Alabama receiver to be really, really good.
Amari Cooper.
And then what is he now?
Exactly. I mean,
Alabama is known for producing defensive players, linemen, but their outside skill players are not that great. Please give me a list.
Julio Jones too.
Right, except for Julio. But even Julio,
he doesn't score touchdowns.
Okay, he's a freak.
Julio Jones is allergic to.
It's because of the system that.
No, he's allergic to the end zone.
I think to be safe, they should go with a guy like DJ Moore, especially. I mean.
Well, he's off the board now.
Oh wait, yeah, he is.
Yeah, he just got picked.
Andre, he just got picked. Where you been?
You're good, Andre. You're good.
Okay, Andre.
I've been on the sidelines eating pizza.
Yeah, he was getting that Little Caesar. Shout out to the plug.
Well, I'll change that to an offensive lineman because I wouldn't go with Sutton. With the way that Flacco, I'm not saying Flacco's not an accurate passer, but he's not the most accurate passer. So I don't think having Sutton.
Carl, this is your team. They've traded down twice tonight. If it's not Calvin Ridley, is there anybody that you hope it is?
If it's not Calvin, Goddard maybe. If not Goddard, Hayden Hurst. No, not any of those.
Oh man, we keep talking about Hayden Hurst, and I just know he's going to end up on the Jaguars.
Oh yeah, that'll be your luck. That'll literally be Jaguars.
Or the edge rusher out of Boston College. So if he's still on the board too. So I mean, but anyone but Hayden Hurst, please, for the love of God, Hayden.
Well, the pick is in, so we're going to hear it here soon. After this pick, there's the Falcons. After the Falcons, we have Seattle, who also traded back. So a couple of NFC teams looking to rebuild their defenses and offensive lines.
And the pick is in.
Coming up. So is everyone on set, including Jimmy set, raise your hand if you think it's Calvin Ridley here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8, and then Andre picked Goddard. So
Hurst.
So here we go. Once the commissioner rolls out, make sure we have an isolation shot on Carl. Producers in the back, we need to make sure that Carl, please, if the pick is not to your liking, I need you to keep it G or PG rated for me. We don't need any.
I got you.
We don't need any.
I got you. I know.
We don't need any Zach moments. Zach moments.
No, I got you.
Shout out to Zach. I know it wasn't on purpose, buddy. I still love you.
Shout out to Kyle's dad too.
Shout out to Kyle's dad again, and also all the moms watching, because I've been on a real mom thing lately.
Chaz.
He really stepped up.
I want to say thank you. Actually, we've had at least 30 people viewing simultaneously on YouTube all night. So,
that's awesome.
While that doesn't sound like a lot over time, that could be 200 to 300 people that have just been checking in and out as we've been going. With the 25th pick in the 2018 NFL
I already
draft.
see them laughing in the background.
Everyone's laughing.
Oh my god.
Okay, here we go. The commissioner is at the the Ravens picked. Come on. Hayden Hurst, let's go! Yeah! He can't be a jag! He can't be a jag! Yeah! Let's go! Let's go, John!
Hayden Hurst, tight end, South Carolina. Hurst, a former minor league baseball player, enters the draft a little older than most prospects at 24 years old, which may knock him down some teams' draft boards. He excels by using his size and quickness to create ample amounts of separation, which will certainly make him a serious threat for an offense in the league.
Man, I haven't been this happy all night. The Ravens take Hayden Hurst with the, what was it, the 25th overall pick. Baltimore moved down twice just to take Hayden Hurst. Oh, this is great. Carl's reaction made it all that much better. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. But Calvin Ridley's still on the board. He will not die in Baltimore. I'm ecstatic. Jarrett, what about you?
Hayden Hurst, great story. You know, he went from baseball, went back, playing football now. The fact that the Ravens were going to take him at 16, now it makes sense why they traded down, but this pick is going to be up there for me with the Josh Allen pick. This is an F right now. This is an F. This is absolutely terrible. Calvin Ridley was on the board. He could have been the start of the revival of wide receivers in Baltimore.
Yeah, this is the first tight end off the board. It's really the top 3 tight ends were kind of just out of order depending on who you liked. I'm pretty sure Baltimore kind of, skunked this one, but we'll.
I mean, the only thing I like a fact about it is that they got some picks back in return. So, that's the only thing. The thing ironic is that the Ravens picked 25th and Hayden Hurst is 25 years old.
I like that one. I like that one.
Yes.
Okay. I just can't wait to get this back over to Carl. Ben.
Hayden Hurst looks like a contestant on Naked and Afraid, like on the survivalist trainers with the ginger hair. And, I don't know. I don't really understand why he's going so high. I mean, I don't know about football as much as the rest of you all do, but it just doesn't seem like a smart pick with Calvin Ridley and other players still on the board.
No, and the best thing about this, we talk about weapons for Joe Flacco, and Calvin Ridley would have been the best option for a weapon for Joe Flacco, but they also could have got Joe Flacco's replacement.
Yeah, they could have got Lamar Jackson as well.
They could have got Lamar Jackson too. I want to make sure Carl hears that they could have got Lamar Jackson too.
Let's just give it to Carl. I'm
trying to give it to Carl.
Bring it back to Carl, please.
Good.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, Carl's off.
Yeah, we're staying
Oh,
on.
yeah, Carl left.
Oh, Carl left.
Oh. I guess that kind of shows how
loyal of a fan.
Loyal of a fan and how Hayden Hurst was.
Let me just say something about Hayden Hurst. He's only got 3 total touchdowns.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh my God.
So
I have more than I am this year.
Oh, so Jarrett has more touchdowns than I
had
am.
1/3 of his touchdowns than I am. I mean, come on, man.
Then
watch him just like show all of us wrong.
I mean, hey, for his story and everything, I'm all
I love
for
the
it,
story. The story
but
is great.
As a football player and for the Ravens in the future, this was not the right pick.
To be fair, Hayden Hurst is going to take a nice contract, and even if he doesn't play very much, I'll take that money to the bank all day long.
Well, I mean, Joe Flacco likes throwing to tight ends. He can't throw to receivers, so he likes throwing to tight ends.
He can't really throw.
Well,
he
that's
can't really
true,
throw
too.
at all. I mean, come on.
I mean,
he's not that
The
good.
first ball he threw was in Denver.
Yeah, because it's Denver.
And because the corner completely misplayed it.
Yeah, I feel like Baltimore's missed the playoffs like the last. I mean, it seems like they're never in the playoffs anymore.
lost to
and I
Andy
don't-
Dalton.
Yeah, and I don't think Hayden Hurst is going to help that very
Is
much.
Hayden Hurst even a good blocker? I don't even think he's that. I don't know.
I don't know. I think he's older than everyone, but I don't know if he's.
He's 20.
Oh wait, is Carl back on the set? What?
Carl's back on the set.
Carl came back.
Carl is back in the studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to send it over. Oh no, he's taking off. Oh, is he taking off the jersey? I understand that, Carl. If you,
You know.
It sucks when you wear a trash bag as a jersey.
Oh. Shots fired.
That was
good.
After all the disrespect you just got, I want you to keep it PG because I know those guys went hard on you. I'm sorry for my reaction, but wait, hold on. The Falcons just made a pick. The Falcons, with the 26th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, have selected. I hope it's Calvin Ridley. Well, there you go. So now they have two Alabama receivers who probably won't score touchdowns.
You heard it here first.
Falcons
Calvin
gonna
about
be
to strike
crazy.
off in Atlanta.
Yeah, he's about to be crazy in Atlanta. I like that.
That's nice.
Maybe Julio can finally score some touchdowns.
Maybe.
Man, you could have.
What do you think about the pick, John, before we run these highlights?
I honestly really like the pick. You know, Atlanta needed a little more firepower in their offense, and he fits great in their scheme with Matt Ryan.
I mean, Matt Ryan, Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman,
Austin Hooper,
Julio. Austin Hooper, and now they have and Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah.
Let's run those highlights.
Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, Alabama. A technician with serious ability to stretch the field. Calvin Ridley is an adept route runner with production at the highest level of college football. He showed up in big games, but the questions about his frame and ability to get off of tough press coverage remain with some scouts.
all right, Calvin Ridley is finally off the board with the 26th overall pick to Atlanta. Now you got two Alabama wide receivers on the same team. You see what Julio's done in Atlanta. Man, Calvin Ridley is big time, and I think this is really going to help Matt Ryan. Ben?
I think for the last 12 or 15 picks, we're saying, oh, they're going to take Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to take Calvin Ridley. And he just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And Atlanta go, you know what, I'll take Calvin Ridley. And guess what? Matt Ryan has someone else to throw to.
Yeah.
Which is only going to help Atlanta out, especially after last year. So it's a steal. It's a steal. He should have been on quickly.
I'm just glad Calvin
11th to
Ridley went
18th.
to a team where the quarterback can actually get him the ball. Anthony?
I think Atlanta needs to be arrested for robbery because
Oh,
that is a huge steal. Just think about this. Matt Ryan gets to throw to Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu. He's got Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman in the backfield.
And
And
Taylor
now
Gabriel in the slot, and then you get Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley as well.
Who doesn't even have to come in day one.
for you.
Oh my God! Yeah, you need. Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't have to come day one and make an impact. He'll make an impact later on in the year and in the postseason. Look out for
He
Calvin
gets
Ridley.
to follow Julio Jones and learn from one of the best.
I'm so
Come on,
happy for
man.
Calvin Ridley right now. I honestly thought he was going to go to Baltimore.
He's such a
and
great
now he gets
fit
to
there.
learn from the best wide receiver ever out of
Great
Alabama.
quarterback.
I think Calvin Ridley is like the happiest out of all of us.
Oh yeah, he's probably more happy than me.
But not even that. Calvin Ridley, he's gonna fit into this, just gunsling it, go offense. Their issue last year, the Falcons, Julio and Matt Ryan were 1 for 18 when targeting in the end zone. So there's some issues there. Will it happen again? Probably not. The issue, I think, with the Falcons were that everyone just knew, hey, double cover Julio. You saw the Eagles do it in the postseason. We had Jalen Mills and Malcolm Jenkins on him. Jalen Mills is 7 inches smaller, but if you double team him, you take him out of the game. Matt Ryan's looking at one guy. Now he's going to have that second threat, play action, everything. Ridley's going to open this field up for so much.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about Calvin Ridley is he can play in the slot and in the outside. I know they have Taylor Gabriel in the slot, and then they have Mohamed Sanu on the outside. We got to check Mohamed sign his contract. He's not going
And
to Atlanta.
Gabriel's on the Bears. Gabriel's on the Bears.
Oh, he left?
Yeah, he
Okay.
left, yep.
And the return game, too, possibly.
Return game.
I'd just be stoked going to Atlanta. It's a sports town.
Yep.
It's a good sports town.
It's a good sports town. I'm happy for Calvin Ridley. All right,
Yeah.
let's send it back to Meech.
So we're here. The Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. Jimmy, I don't know if you guys over there have seen, but Adam Schefter just tweeted out that one of the greatest moments in NFL draft history is about to unfold here with the Seahawks pick. A lot of us around here think it might mean that our UCF Knight, Shaquem Griffin, might be getting drafted here in the first round. Guys, if it's Shaquem, what a journey, man.
Yeah, I mean,
John, you've had a lot of experience
Yeah.
talking to Shaquem and covering him.
Yeah, not to like bring biases into anything like this, but just out of all the athletes I've ever interviewed, he's the most like genuine person I've ever like actually talked to, and there's nobody whose success I like could root for more. So if he ends up being a first round pick, there's not a person I could be happier for.
It's tough that the field goals guys are going to get to have him on their team.
We can worry about that later.
But that's semantics for later.
Yeah.
Carl, if it's Shaquem, what a moment, huh?
He gets to be paired up with his twin brother. You can't ask for a better.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's a storybook ending. Tatiana, what about you?
I definitely think it would be great to see because Shaquem works harder than almost every single person that you've seen in this draft so far, and he has a lot to prove. He has us as well that are behind him, supporting him. So I would like to see him go with the Seahawks, and like he said, being up there with Shaquille would be just an even greater dream for them.
A Shaquem Griffin Seahawks jersey might be like an auto cop. I'm
100%.
CD.
Yeah, I think
your opinions?
It's great. Like John said, like he's a very tireless hard worker. I
mean, worked his way up from basically only getting offers so teams could get his brother, working himself into a first-round pick, an undefeated national championship season.
Exactly.
And those type of guys, like Shaquem, like they don't fizzle out. Like, when's the last time you've seen a guy like that?
And even if Shaquem doesn't perform as well as they would hope on the field, the kind of leadership and just energy that he brings to your team, I feel like it's tough to quantify, and that's the reason that you would see somebody like him getting picked in the first round. And it's kind of a slap in the face to me because I from the beginning people were asking me, Meech, are we going to cut Shaquem Griffin highlights? I was like, oh, no chance. What's the point? He won't get drafted in the first round, and now I'm going to look like an idiot. And so good job, Shaquem. I'm proud of you. If this does end up being you, you deserve it, man. And I think I speak for everyone involved with this production when I say, like, it couldn't happen to a better guy. Just flat out.
For sure.
People in the national media have, finally gotten, like, this year, kind of turned their attention towards him, and it's almost like it couldn't have happened to a better guy.
And the person you see now on ESPN all the time and stuff, that's the person he's always been, Like this newfound attention and fame, it's not something that's changed him in any way. He's always just been legitimately, like, I know it sounds like we have nothing but compliments, but he's just that special of a person.
He went from not being invited to the combine to a potential first-round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you can even say that is a testament to himself, his work ethic, his family.
Yeah.
It's really just an unbelievable story.
And Shaquille's a great role model for him too. Like, I mean, having a brother that's already in the NFL, that's been there for their rookie season, and then you step up to the plate next, he has that person above him.
Last year was the only year they had never played football together.
Yeah. I'm not sure why I didn't remember it before, but at the pro day, they asked him, like, if there are any spots he really wanted to go to, and he said Seattle, like, not just because of his brother, but because he felt like he really bonded with Pete Carroll well whenever he visited with him.
Pete Carroll was over there drooling watching that 40.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yep, so once Goodell walks up, we'll get that pick. I want to send it over to Jimmy and the gang real quick to get their opinions on Shaquem, and if it does end up being Shaquem's pick.
I mean, you guys said everything you could about Shaquem Griffin. I don't think you guys missed anything, but we'll go around the table. If Shaquem Griffin's a first-round pick, I mean, not only is he's an inspirational story now with everything that he does, it's almost speechless.
He's the true definition of earned, not given. True definition. Yep. Nothing in life has been handed to him. No. He's had to work for everything just to get here. I mean, watching everything, he was going to go to USF, but he felt like the offer was just a sympathy offer because they really want Shaquille. But it was he found that bond at UCF. UCF gave him that chance. And when I said earlier that, like, Shaquem will go in the first 2 rounds, he's earned it. Like, I'm not saying that, like, because he's really earned that right to he plays with all his heart. If you watched one game all year, the Peach Bowl, that's every single game. That wasn't just because it was the Peach Bowl. That was every single game.
Yeah, he puts all his effort into every game he plays.
I got a chance to cover UCF football this past season, and Shaquem Griffin obviously was on the team. He's such an inspiration. I mean, as a journalist, like, you're supposed to be like unbiased and stuff, but like, you know, it's just an honor to just be around his presence. I mean, you know, the way he speaks to the media and stuff. I love Shaquem Griffin. I hope he gets picked here. It'd be great.
All right, let's send it back over to Meech.
All right, guys, the moment of truth here. The 27th pick in the 2000. Oh, wow. They picked Rashad Penny.
Wow. Everything we said still applies, technically.
Yeah, literally everything we said about Shaquem still stands. Adam Schefter, I don't know what they're paying you for. Why is Rashad Penny getting drafted?
We can roast the Seahawks now, honestly.
Rashad Penny is a terrible pick. Yeah, I know.
It's historic, man.
I feel so
Layla,
deceived right now.
Layla just chimed in my ear that we don't have Rashad Penny's highlights. I know that. It's because he should not have been a first-round pick. So, field goals, guys, this is what you get for being a terrible Twitter handle. John, good God, what a terrible pick.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really rationalize them taking a running back first round when they have so many other holes.
And
that line is
like
so
Rashad
bad.
Not
Penny.
like Sonny Michel or
like Rashad.
Darius Guys. It's Guys, bro.
Guys. Potato.
Where he'd go, where he came.
But like the thing is, that's my thing. Rashad Penny is an all right running back.
Jack's taking Lamar.
No, we're taking Hernandez if he's still there. We'll talk about that when the time comes.
Yeah.
Tati, what do you think about this pick?
I mean, honestly, it's definitely really.
Have you heard of Rashad Penny?
Nope. It's very,
Exactly.
it's very
Exactly.
surprising. So I definitely think they would have been better off with Shaquem, but I guess we'll see what the next running back in the draft can do.
I hope Pittsburgh takes Shaquem now.
I don't.
No, actually, I take that back. I hate
I hope he
Pittsburgh.
goes anywhere else.
Yeah, let's-
I hope he
let's-
goes the next
let's
one.
not do that.
Yeah, keep him away from Pittsburgh, bro. He wouldn't like it there.
So we're gonna
the
send
Steelers aren't
on that
trash.
Steelers note, Jimmy. We're gonna send it to you guys. We want to.
I just said they
Hold on, guys. We want to send it over for Jimmy's table's reaction to Rashad Penny being the pick for the Seahawks, and also Jimmy's hopes for the Pittsburgh pick.
Yeah, I just feel like I say this every time the camera comes on that picks just keep surprising. Rashad Penny is probably 5th best running back in this class. Like, no matter where you had your running back draft boards, I don't see Rashad Penny being anywhere higher than 5th, maybe 4th.
Yeah, maybe 4th.
He was productive in college, but like, we don't have highlights cut of him for a reason. No one expected him to be a first-round pick, and I'm shocked Seattle went
Productive's an understatement, though. He had 2,400 total yards last year, 21 total touchdowns. It's not like he's a useless player. He's great at football.
Oh,
He
I mean,
can play the
productive as
game.
in, San Diego State just didn't do anything.
No, obviously not. It's San Diego State. What do they have other than a beach?
That's true.
But it's just Geis was on the board.
Exactly. I was just.
I'm
about to
happy
say
because
that.
the Eagles can still have a chance to get him.
Yeah.
For me, this is like taking your dad out to a steakhouse and taking him to Outback. You know, compared to like Texas Roadhouse, when you've got those sort of guys on the board. And Jimmy said he's about 4th or 5th best running back. I'm like Tati. I've never heard of Rashad Penny before.
Yeah.
Is it because he plays San Diego State? Probably.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Is he going to show out in the league? Like, he's got every potential to with the stats you said. So maybe. I don't know. I don't think the Seahawks. I think they had bigger holes to fill in their column than the running back.
Like Jared mentioned, you could have gone with Darius Guice. You could have gone with even Sonny Michel. Sonny Michel was also a good
Darius
pick.
Guice is just
Darius Guice is just really good.
I
I think Rashad Penny, if he was picked in the 2nd or 3rd round, he would have been a steal.
Yeah.
But the fact that
Is he
he's
a Pete
taken in the
Carroll
1st
type
round,
player though?
he probably is.
Darius
but
Guice,
they could have gotten
I
him in the 2nd
believe,
round.
If you had a pro comparison to Darius Guice, Marshawn Lynch is right up there.
Absolutely,
With the pro comparison to Darius
yeah.
Guice. I think Darius Guice would
Absolutely.
have been a monster in Seattle. Now, on to the Steelers on the clock.
Very interesting.
Josh
Close
Jackson
up right
is the
here.
first one that comes
Close
to
up right
mind.
here.
The Steelers have needed help in the secondary for the last, 15 years. And Artie Burns is a good player. He's not a great player. I'm not sure if he should have been taken in the 1st round. I might be wrong on this, but I think Josh Jackson is the best player in this DB left on the board. I would love to see Josh Jackson out like the big, long corners. I think he can come in day one and be an impactful player. All right, let's hope. Send it over to Meech.
All right, guys. Jimmy Calhoun's Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. A team that couldn't beat Jacksonville twice in 2 tries at home last year. That's why they're picking 28th instead of 29th. Go Jags, always and forever. Carl,
you sound real hurt.
Carl, I don't know who. There's actually. I was gonna say there's a lot of legitimate people up here that hate the Steelers. Like,
what's there not to hate?
That's true. That's a fair point.
Jimmy's
CD.
a cool guy.
I don't hate this.
Yeah, Jimmy's all right.
That's about what my compliments for the Steelers.
Let's not give Jimmy too much credit, but the
They did.
The Celtics did lose tonight as well, so there will be a game 7.
This pick is definitely going to be really bad.
I think that you could see them go linebacker here. I mean, not having Ryan Shazier for probably ever, maybe. Unfortunately. I could see him go maybe reach for a guy like Malik Jefferson here. Maybe take. I think Harold Landry feels like the smartest pick here for them. Though.
I think so.
They always pick defense. Steelers picking a defensive lineman or defensive end in the first round almost always feels like a Sherman. They took TJ Watt last year.
Yeah, they took Bud Dupree a few seasons before that.
They just picked up his option too.
Yeah.
You can never have too many pass rushers though.
The Saints' Azier might announce a pick.
What happened?
The Saints' Azier might announce it. I guess.
All right, so. With the 28th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers have selected.
Oh yeah, they're giving it.
After this pick, we're gonna run the package and then head to commercial too. Everyone at home. Come on, Raj.
Yes.
You have a law degree.
Shazier's taking the pick.
Is Shazier gonna read the pick?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So we got a couple more we got a couple more minutes here then.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So you guys, what do you guys think about Roger Goodell being booed?
We didn't get to hear. Apparently, is it true that he got booed so loudly that you couldn't hear him read the first pick?
I would say so. And I know that I think he said something to them as well, and everyone was just kept on going.
I'm sorry, dude. It's just really sad to see Ryan Shazier walking out like that.
Yeah, it is really sad. His fit is on
like I'm glad that he's walking, but like at a certain point,
like,
it's just kind of sad. And I don't know if that's something that the NFL should want to be like parading around.
I don't think it's as much as parading.
But like it's kind of like
like he was at Ohio State spring game. It's the same thing, I mean. Giving him a little bit of his life.
But it's like with the NFL, it's like the dangers of football, like is what it is. Okay. Oh, so they took Terrell Edmonds, the safety out of Virginia Tech, who I believe is Tremaine Edmonds'
he is his brother.
Older brother. Yeah. We don't have highlights cut for him either. So with that, we are going to head to commercial break, and we'll be right back.
That means he wasn't even graded a first rounder. Great job.
This production is sponsored by. Wait, what is that drug called again? Whatever. Just roll the clip. Do you ever have crippling depression due to colleges gouging you for all of your money? Or just blatant anxiety attacks all the time when you can't get into the classes you need to? Well, then we have a drug for you. Introducing radiotelemumab. Who invented that? Side effects include, but are not limited to, violent diarrhea, even worse panic attacks, death, more depression, feelings of desperation and hopelessness, loss of fertility in males, full loss of control of your body, and honestly, just more death. In some cases, people have reported a full change in sexual orientation. But don't let the Westboro Baptist Church find that out. This drug was created by a classroom full of idiots. They got a C on the project, but we got a sellable drug. So if you're feeling depressed and a little bit risky, why not try it? What else do you have to lose, right? Talk to your doctor to find out more about radiotelemumab. You're
not supposed to drink alcohol with that.
Well, I already drank it, so what?
America's got a big problem. Losing your keys. Hi, I'm Locksmith, and I'm here to serve your car problems. Locked your keys out of your car? We gotcha. Lost your keys? I'll go and find them. Our newly trained convicts can break into any car. This Papa John's car will get that pizza for you. Punch buggy, punch yeah! Yellow cars, black cars, boats! Don't forget about boats, guys! We got boats! This car, yes you? Yeah you! We can break into your car any day, any time! You should get some more business because of this. Sir, whoa, sir, do you need help? Sir, are your keys locked in your car? Move aside, sir, I'm an expert.
All right, my Steelers take Terrell Edmonds with the 28th pick, safety out of Virginia Tech.
Are you underwhelmed?
How you feeling,
do you want some tissues?
I have a lot of feelings. First of all, we don't have highlights cut of him because I never heard of him before he was selected.
Fair enough.
He's not even the best brother in this draft.
He already got drafted. Yeah.
He wasn't even on my top 5 safeties list to begin this draft, let alone corners. I'm just hoping, because he's so far off the board and such a reach of a pick, that I'm just going to trust Mike Tomlin.
Didn't he just tell us that the Steelers weren't going to reach for a pick?
Yeah,
and
he just said it. Yeah, he just said it, and they reached.
Just 8
and they reached. If we were to go safety, I would have liked Ronnie Harrison out of Alabama. Like I said, I wanted Josh Jackson, cornerback, but
it could have been worse. You could have picked Hayden Hurst.
You could have picked Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, we could have picked Hayden Hurst. That would have been worse. But so I guess we get a D-. Ravens get an F. I'm okay with that. All right, back to Meech.
John, you don't look excited. All right, so the Jags are officially on the clock. Their pick is in. John, you spoiled the pick for yourself, so I don't even know if I want to go to you. Carl knows what the pick is as well, so I don't even know if I want to hear from him. Chris, what do you think it is based off of Carl and John's reactions?
I feel like this is all a ploy and that the pick is nice. And y'all just...
Real nice.
Yeah, he's salty, bro. He ain't
it's not Hayden Hurst nice, but I mean...
It's nice.
Armand, who do you think is going to be here for the Jags?
I have no clue, but the Cardinals are more excited than the Ravens, though. The Ravens pick. He had a rough night.
Carl's got me feeling like it's going to be got me feeling like it's going to be like a receiver. Like
Courtland Sutton. It's not a receiver or tight end, but they do only have 3 less career touchdowns than Hayden Hurst does.
Less touchdowns than Hayden Hurst.
So it's
only 3. Only 3 though.
Mike Hughes, Evan, you don't get the joke. So... the Jags are on the pick. I was extremely excited up until John.
I mean, it's nothing to be like depressed about. I mean, it's whatever.
All right, so I guess we're gonna find out here in a second. It looks like the commissioner is about to walk out. I was feeling much more energetic, but oh God. Carl, after this we have the Vikings, the Patriots, and also the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Do you expect any more surprises here in the first round?
Lamar still hasn't gone.
That's true.
Oh, he hasn't, has he?
No.
New England?
New England, maybe.
Wow.
Do you guys think
there's some interest in there?
Do you guys think that might be the pick from New England at 31?
So we didn't take Lamar.
I mean, like a few weeks ago, we saw like interest between the two. So
yeah, there's definitely some mutual interest there. Well, here we go.
Not even close.
Roger Goodell is up at the podium.
From position to race, I could not. Like, it's just
with the 29th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the future Super Bowl champion Jacksonville Jaguars selected Taven. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. What a terrible pick.
Yeah.
What an absolutely terrible pick.
8 million defensive tackles. Can we get an isolation shot on the beach, please? Isolation shot.
I will say, I don't think it makes 0 sense because 2 of them, Malik Jackson, Calais Campbell, and Marcel Darius, will not be on the team next season for cap reasons. So D-line makes sense. But Hernandez, I think, was still obviously a better pick. Lamar is obviously a better pick. I don't think this is a good pick, but it makes sense, I guess.
All right, we're gonna roll the package. When we come back, I got some things to say.
Taven Bryan, defensive line, Florida. A true disruption in the middle of the defensive line for Florida. Bryan relies more on power and explosiveness than technique and fluidity. His game could certainly grow substantially at the next level with attention paid towards the development of his fundamentals, but the raw tools are very evident.
So Taven Bryan's the pick for the Jags. CD, I'm gonna let you start it off. What do you think about the pick?
Very bad, extremely bad. I don't know. I get what John's saying. I understand it. Cap is great. Whoop-de-doo. But if the guy is not like exceptional, like with the guys that we had available,
bro, he looks like he just got done murdering his entire family.
This seems like a pick they're making for the future. Wow. You know, he's a guy who's really raw. He needs a lot of coach up. He's probably honestly a year away from making a big impact.
I guess 1+ would be that he's in a great situation.
When has drafting a Florida defensive player in the first round ever worked for the
Literally
Jags?
not once.
Remember Harvey? You saw how bad that turned out.
Reggie Nelson.
Dante
Fowler Jr. Derek Harvey. Have we not learned? Tom Coughlin. My God, what a garbage pick. What a.
And I
felt bad about Hayden Hurst.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse, man.
Nah, you still took it.
It couldn't have been worse, bro. It could not have been worse.
It could have been worse.
You gonna feel that in tonight, bro. Trust me.
Nah. You know what? Hayden gonna prove us all wrong.
Bro, the fact Will Hernandez is on the board. Lamar Jackson is on the board. Get the camera out of my face. Send it to Jimmy.
We're hot.
Oh man. It shook, man.
I guess it's still on me. I don't know what else you want me to say.
All right. Thank you, Meech. You just put me in a better mood.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hi, Meech.
Because the fact that not only did the Ravens blow their first-round pick, but the Jaguars also blew their first-round pick, makes me just that much happy. Much more happier. Look, I'm gonna admit the Steelers could have taken so many. I'm still speechless on the Steelers pick, but
your pick was trash too.
Yeah, no, I'm good with my pick being trash because the Jaguars and Ravens pick was trash. Jared, go.
So over here, we're not gonna further trash. I have no connection to the team, so I'm not gonna sit here and trash. We're gonna talk about Taven Bryan himself. He's a solid player, 10.5 sacks in 3 years. Physical guy up the middle. He gets to the quarterback. That's his #1 trait, is getting to the quarterback, just getting the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Was he the best fit for the Jags?
No.
Not for personnel reasons. No. Yeah, it's actually that really doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. There's not much.
Doesn't fit. I mean, how many defensive tackles do they have?
A lot.
A lot. So I mean, why are they taking Taven Bryan? I could get the cap situation, but it's not a good pick.
It doesn't make sense. You should have traded. You should have traded out of it.
Yeah, you should trade out of it.
For someone that didn't have an NFL team and followed my first college quarterback, and because Meech is one of my best friends and convinced me to like the Jags, I'm very disappointed. Mainly because I don't know who this guy is, but also because he went to UF, and I don't like people who go. I don't like UF.
All right, let's send it back to Meech to announce this pick.
Big news out of UCF. With the 30th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings selected the best cornerback in the draft, Mike Hughes, out of the University of Central Florida. Let's go. Let's see the clips.
Mike Hughes, cornerback, UCF. Hughes delivered perhaps the most exciting play in college football season last year when he took a kickoff to the house for a game-winning score against the UCF Bulls. Despite his small stature, he does a tremendous job playing physically and disrupting routes. His lack of experience may be a concern, but given what he's shown in limited action, his potential is very interesting to NFL teams.
All right, congratulations, Mike Hughes, UCF, taking number 30 with the Vikings. He goes to a loaded defense. I'm not sure he'll get right away playing time, but he's only going to help that Minnesota Vikings defense. I know you guys as Eagles fans was hoping he was going to be there at 32.
That's fine.
I kind of hope the Steelers took him again, but the Vikings just shore up that defense.
So he's going to join Xavier Rhodes.
Possibly the best corner in football.
Possibly. And the return game as well, I think, is another big aspect that they have him in. Speed. He's fast. It's UCF fast. And Mike Hughes was a pure definition of that.
Yeah.
Hughes, is he the most physical guy? Maybe, maybe not. But his speed makes up for a lot of his, if he misses him on the line, don't worry, he'll catch up to the receiver. And overall, great pick for the Vikings. I don't see why he won't continue to do what he did at UCF in Minnesota.
Yeah, I also love the pick just because I know Minnesota will help develop him into what he needs to be.
He's going to be learning behind Mike Zimmerman, one of the best head coaches in the league and best defensive minds in the NFL, but he's going to make a huge impact right away in the special teams.
Yeah, special teams.
I mean, look at what he did for UCF this past season, return. Who remembers that UCF kickoff return for a touchdown against USF? So, I mean, wow. Okay, so Mike Hughes, great pick.
I hope he has a thick jacket, because he's going to, after 4 years or 3 years,
it's indoor,
he's been down here.
Indoors.
It's going to be, cold weather. I'm just happy for Mike Hughes. A good person, good football player. The play he made in the USF game is one of my favorite college football games of all time. One of my favorite college football players of all time. He's athletic. He's quick. He's tank. He can move laterally. He's got spring, or whatever you guys call it. He can get up in the air.
Yeah.
good pick. Good for UCF. Good for Mike Hughes. Good for Minnesota Vikings. I think that's the pick that all three parties win.
Yeah, I'm happy he won in the first round and happy he went to Minnesota.
Yeah. It's good. Minnesota's,
great
once you get
fit
it past
for
the
him.
cold, it's actually kind of a nice place.
Yeah.
It's good for the brand here.
Real
UCF.
quick, the Patriots are on the clock. They get a second chance at Lamar Jackson. What do you guys think?
I said it earlier. I'm going to stick by it. Lamar Jackson is not a first rounder. That's just been my opinion all
Pretty close to
year.
it.
He's got one chance left because I know the Eagles aren't drafting him.
Yep.
So
yeah, I think Lamar Jackson's getting picked right here.
Okay.
I really do. I think it's time.
It's time. What about you?
Oh, vertical was the word I was looking for. Yeah, it should be. If I can see him going. We've been saying it all night that he should go to he's probably going to go to the Pats, and this is their last shot in the first round. So if they're gonna pick a quarterback to back up Brady, this is the best one left in the draft.
Man, I just think the storylines that come out of this, if Lamar Jackson goes to the Patriots, are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it, especially because the Jags didn't take him and the Ravens didn't take him. I'm here more for it. Meech, go.
All right, well, I'm happy Mike Hughes got drafted. I think it was a great place for him to land in Minnesota. Eddie, you know that Mike Hughes is a baller, man.
Oh, I love Mike Hughes. I thought he could have gone even earlier.
Where were you guys when Mike Hughes took that touchdown to the house against?
At the game, baby.
That was nuts.
I was there. I was in the stands with you.
That was honestly the greatest sporting play I've ever seen live in person in my entire life.
That game and the AAC championship game against Memphis were two of the best football games I've ever been to.
I literally thought I was going to pass out when Mike Hughes took that to the house. Remember I called it?
Bruh. You say, Mike, let's go take this back.
I looked at Carl. I was like, Mike Hughes is taking this to the house. Sure enough, he made me look right. Armand, what do you think the Patriots are doing here with 31?
I really hope they pick Lamar Jackson. Because I hope I told Chris while Jimmy was talking that, hopefully not like Lamar Jackson falls down to the second round, because that'll be
devastating.
That'll be outrageous. But if he does, I hope he tears through the league and proves that the doubters wrong, obviously.
CD, what do you think?
I saw a tweet and it was like, did Lamar Jackson take a knee or something? Like it's crazy because it's like nobody's touching this man. It's like he's like, to me, pound for pound, like the most talented player like out there. You look at what he did the last 2 years, and I'm not, I hate to say it, but like you change like how he looks and everything, and he could be in Baker Mayfield's spot. It's just wild to see. Honestly, I hope he goes to. I want him to go to the Patriots because that means he's going to a very good team, not like a early team. Like I want him to go to a good team.
It would be cool to see him develop a little bit behind Tom Brady. Want to shout out to my dad real quick, who is also just as depressed about the Jags pick as I am. Taven Bryan, golly, you suck. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. What a god awful pick, dude. Dad, what's up? I hope you're doing good. Can't wait to see you for graduation in a couple weeks. It'll be exciting. With the 31st pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots have selected Sony Michel. That's actually a very good pick. That's actually a very good pick. The running back out of Georgia. Let's run his highlights, and then we'll send it over to Mark and the boys.
I like that pick.
Mark and the boys.
Sony Michel, running back, Georgia. After being overshadowed by Nick Chubb early in his career at Georgia, Michel proved himself to be one of the most dynamic backs in the country. In the modern-day game, he needs to work on his hands out in the backfield, but his size, decisiveness, and vision come together to make him an elite-level prospect.
All right, the Patriots take Sony Michel, the third running back off the board with the 31st pick. I don't think it's a bad pick. I personally would like Darius Geis more, and me personally, I know this is not a favorite opinion, but I think Nick Chubb is a little bit better than Sony Michel. How do you like it?
I'll take it 100%. Anybody from Georgia I think is good enough, but honestly, I was very much assuming it was going to be Lamar. To be honest, I'm actually kind of upset that it's come down to the 32nd pick and he still hasn't been drafted.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to see him behind Brady. But I don't care. I'll take this. I don't care.
Sony Michel's going to come in and fill that Deion Lewis role like that.
100%. No, that's what we need. I'm honestly missing Deion a lot, and we got pieces in like Rex, and we have James White and everything, who I actually am a huge fan of, and I presume that he's probably going to end up being our #1 next year.
Yeah,
we'll see.
All right,
I don't know. I'm happy that our running back core is still as big as it's going to be next year. So.
All right, Anthony, Jared, we'll get to your Eagles pick in a second.
I like Sony Michel. I was a little shocked that it wasn't Lamar Jackson, but I think Sony Michel, he kind of reminds me of Alvin Kamara, right?
Yeah.
So, they needed somebody like that to replace Deion Lewis, and they get him in Sony Michel here. It was a great pick by the Patriots.
Yeah, I think he'll fit the Patriots schematics perfect.
It's an interesting pick for the Patriots considering how many running backs they use, that they would invest their second first-round pick in a running back. They usually always run 3 to 4 running backs a game. It's an interesting scheme that they like to run, but with Deion Lewis gone, it doesn't surprise me that they went and added another speed back to their backfield. I mean, he'll probably be – I don't even know what he'll be because James White was usually the third down guy. And so it's going to be interesting. I think the Patriots might move more towards a 1-2 punch instead of the 3-4 punch.
Yeah, I think this is one of the reasons Deion Lewis was let go. Now maybe it brings some light into that, and maybe one of the reasons Deion Lewis got paid so much money to where he went. These backs are valuable.
Jimmy, I believe the Eagles have traded their pick, actually.
I guess we'll send it over to Meech.
Sorry, Jared.
The Philadelphia Eagles have
back in this thing real quick. Okay.
Karl Max has went from a 0 to a 10 because the Philadelphia Eagles have traded their first-round pick to Carl's Ravens.
We got 2 first-round picks.
Jarrett wants to react to it real quick before we let Carl get into it.
So who's still
Jarrett,
really gone? Damn, who available?
I was actually hoping the Eagles would trade their pick because there aren't too many holes for them. And I will say the last time the Eagles traded their first-round pick, they traded it to the Browns, who then drafted Johnny Manziel. So maybe this is Lamar Jackson. Who knows?
That could be possible. I think the Eagles made this decision based on getting some more picks. Like I said earlier, we only have 5 picks in this entire draft.
Yeah.
We need more picks. So if we
I think they're investing for the
I don't know how many picks we got in return.
When you have an F so far in the draft, you might as well get a second pick.
I mean, the Ravens had to do something with Hayden. They had to do something.
I can't wait to see what the Eagles got for this.
Yeah, I want to see what we got.
I feel
like we got like a second.
Right now, Eagles get picks 52 and 125 and a 2019 second-round pick.
That's worth it.
Oh wow, so we got 3 picks in return. I like it. I like the deal.
Yep. All right, back over to Carl. To hopefully the Ravens go from an F to maybe a D-.
All right, so the Ravens are now on the clock here for the last pick in the first round. I'm amazed that we got the whole first round in 4 hours. That's let's hear it for NFL GMs making it on time. Before we get to Carl and the pick, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Dylan Yance at NSC. Special thank you to Giadoxy, Jacob Boring, Layla, Tatiana in the back, Gabby, who came after not knowing that she was supposed to show up tonight, Hannah and Megan for being our only 2 live audience members, Jessica Herman, Charlie Reyes, who I believe I didn't get to see after he got here. Carl, who do you think this pick is going to be?
Hey, nobody look at the phones. I don't want nobody making no reactions right now. Don't look at me.
All right, here it is.
Looking at this screen. Don't even look at me right now.
The final selection in the 2018 NFL Draft first round.
Lamar.
Make sure we have an ISO shot.
Hey, my dog Nick in the building. Shout out to my dog Nick.
The Ravens have selected.
Let's go, baby. The future. We here. Lamar Jackson, baby. We out. Woo! Let's go, baby.
Get out of the shot.
Look at the camera one.
We out here. That boy, Lamar. Heisman.
Carl rocking the number 32 jersey, Lamar Jackson, the 32nd overall pick. I hope we have, let's run the Lamar Jackson highlights, please.
Run that tape.
Lamar Jackson, quarterback, Louisville. Lamar Jackson is going to be the steal of this year's NFL Draft. He's the most athletic quarterback in the class, and he could throw 50-yard completions or run for 50 yards on the same play. The 2016 Heisman winner will fool defenses and could give teams a whole lot of regrets.
All right, everyone. It's been a wonderful night here on the Hitting the Field NFL Draft Show. For Jimmy Calhoun, for Jarrett Kappelman, Anthony Abruzzo, Mark Sevilla, Kyle Graham, Chris Davis, Armand Sardui, Carl Maximilianard, Ben Sanders, Andre Rodriguez, Troy Alford, Eddie Messel, anyone else I forgot, Evan Abramson, Nick Santiago,
Hitting the field, shout out.
Winecki.
I love y'all. Hitting the field.
Hitting the field. It's been a real good ride.
I love all y'all. Seniors, we out. Shout out CD. Tati, Gabby, everybody out here. Lamar Jackson, Charm City.
That's a wrap on the draft show.
We out here. Woo! Let's go.